A very good morning to one and all. This is Dr. Simi Gurwara, Professor of English and convener Swami Vivekanand Chair at Swami Vivekanand Bharati University, Meerut. Saksham Yuva, Sashakt Yuva. This is the true essence of how we want to shape the mindset of young people at Swami Vivekanand Bharati University. We have gathered here today to make a profound impact on the psychology of a young brigade by igniting their inner passions to do good and be good, and inspiring them into believing that they have what it takes to become the greatest and the best version of themselves. This is meant to propel them not just on the path of self-development, but to channelize their energies into the development of society and the nation at large. Swami Vivekanand's Chair, in association with Subharati Medical College and Sanskriti Vibhag, celebrates the 159th birth anniversary of Swami Vivekanand today. Let us join hands and make Rashtriya Yuva Divas more meaningful because Yuva hi Yug hai. Vivekanand's message to the youth was, "What I want is muscles of iron and nerves of steel, inside which dwells a mind of the same material as that of which the thunderbolt is made." Swami Vivekananda believed that anything which makes us weak, spiritually, physically, and mentally, should be rejected like poison. Weak thoughts should be replaced with optimism with the help of yoga and meditation. National Youth Day, or Rashtriya Yuva Divas, is celebrated every year since 1985 to honor the ideals and thoughts of social reformer and philosopher Swami Vivekananda. He always aimed to galvanize, ignite, unite, and activate the youth towards nation building by unlocking and unleashing their true potential. Swami Vivekananda was a true karma yogi who had full faith in the youth of this country. He had a strong belief that youth can transform the fate of India through their hard work, dedication, and spiritual power. Our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, too believes that the National Youth Day is one of the biggest exercises in social cohesion and intellectual and cultural integration. It aims to bring diverse cultures of India and integrate them into a united thread of Ek Bharat, Shresht Bharat. Swamiji used to say, "We are what our thoughts have made us." So take care about what you think. Words are secondary. Thoughts live. They travel far. The main objective to celebrate Rashtriya Yuva Divas is to propagate the philosophy, ideals, and teachings of Swamiji, for which he lived and worked tirelessly. Swamiji encouraged young minds by motivating them. We are responsible for what we are and whatever we wish ourselves to be. We have the power to make ourselves. If what we are now has been the result of our own past actions, it certainly follows that whatever we wish to be in future can be produced by our present actions. So we have to know how to act. Hence, arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is reached. Youth is the foundation of a country. They're a great asset to any nation as they are full of energy, enthusiasm, and innovative ideas. If this energy is channelized in the right direction, then they can drive the country on the path of progress. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says, "Young people are on the front lines of the struggle to build a better future for all." The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the dire need for the kind of transformational change they seek, and young people must be full partners in that effort. Swami Vivekanand Chair, in association with Subharati Medical College and Sanskriti Vibhag, is organizing this event to underscore the unlimited power of our youth towards becoming a positive force for national development and international presence. And now, to take this event further, I would like to introduce you to the Vice Chancellor of Swami Vivekanand Bharati University, Major General Dr. G.K. Thaprayal, Let me introduce our Honorable Vice Chancellor to the viewers first, and then I would request for Sir's welcome address. Major General Dr. G.K. Thaprayal graduated with distinction from the erstwhile King George's Medical College, now KGMU, Lucknow, in 1979. He is a postgraduate MDS in Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery from prestigious Armed Forces Medical College, AFMC, Pune. He is the Fellow of Indian Board of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery, FIBOMS. He was commissioned in the Indian Army in 1980 and superannuated in the rank of Major General in 2015. For his distinguished service to the nation and armed forces, he was awarded with prestigious award, Sena Medal, by President of India on Republic Day, 26 January 2015. For his immense contribution as a clinician, researcher, and academician in the specialty of oral and maxillofacial surgery, he was conferred with most prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award by the Association of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons of India in 2016. While serving in Indian Armed Forces for about 35 years in various capacities in India and abroad, he has received commendation cards from commanders, including United Nations Peacekeeping Force Commander in Cambodia, Army Commanders, Southern and Western Commands. He has served as research officer at Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences, INMAS, Delhi. That is where he carried out extensive research work on animals and successfully finished clinical trials on humans using titanium as an ideal biomaterial to restore and reconstruct craniofacial skeletal defects. In addition, he carried out research projects funded by DRDO on cleft lip and palate, extraction, osteogenesis, and precancerous lesions of oral cavity. As academician, he has the unique distinction of being the first youngest head of dental wing at AFMC Pune. He has also been professor and head oral and maxillofacial surgery at ADC, Army Hospital, RNR, New Delhi, Rama Dental College, Kanpur, and ITS Dental College and Hospital, Greater Noida, UP. He has been an expert advisor to UPSC, Government of India, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, ONGC, Mumbai, King George's Medical University, Lucknow, for selection and promotion of faculty. He has been on the panel of recognized examiner for MDS, oral and maxillofacial surgery to DNB and various universities, to name few: Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Bangalore, Sri Ramachandra University of Health Sciences, Chennai, Maharashtra, University of Health Sciences, Nasik, Bombay University, Delhi University, KGMU, AMS, and so on. He has guided a large number of postgraduate students in submitting their thesis and has also been a PhD guide to many students working on development of biomaterials affiliated to IIT Delhi and Jamia Millia University, New Delhi. He was the, excuse me, he was the honorary director of MTV, Buddhist Religious and Charitable Trust, Dehradun Wing, before joining as Vice Chancellor, Swami Vivekananda University, Meerut. May I now request Honorable Vice Chancellor to please deliver his welcome address on the occasion of National Youth Day today. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Simi. Thank you very much for reading out my biodata. Thank you very much, and thought your introductory speech also was an excellent. Distinguished guests, speakers, participants, dear student, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. On this auspicious occasion, when India is celebrating National Youth Day across the country, Swami Vivekanand University is organizing this webinar on virtual mode. And I consider it's a great honor for me to deliver the welcome address. At the outset, I, on behalf of Swami Vivekanand University, send you the best wishes and greetings for the new year 2022, and praying God for your safety and good health. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome Most Venerable Swami Mitranand, Mentor Chinmaya Mission, Chennai, who has been gracious enough to accept our invitations to deliver the guest lecture. I welcome you, sir. I welcome Dr. Salyaraj, Chief Executive Officer, for having accepted our invitation to share her views. I welcome Professor Dr. Rahul Bansil, Head of the Department, Community Medicine, Subharati Medical College, for having accepted our invitation to enlighten the participants about life of Swami Vivekananda. I also welcome Mr. Vivek, Head Sanskriti Vibhag of Swami Vivekanand Subharati University, to deliver their speech. I welcome and thanks all the students of the medical college who are participating in this event. Ladies and gentlemen, National Youth Day 2022 is being celebrated today across the country. The day is celebrated to mark the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. And today is the 159th birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. This year, the new Youth Day 2022 theme is "It's All in the Mind." And goal of celebrating Youth Day is to strengthen the nation's unity by increasing bonding between countries' diverse cultures. Swami Vivekananda devoted his life to directing the strength of the youth for the services of the nation. He wished all the youth to recognize their potential and to express their views. His goal was to inspire young people to the point where they could stand with the British and face the atrocities and achieve independence.
Yeah, there were some net issues, sir. So may I please request you to continue with the welcome address? VC, sir.
Hello.
आ गए जी हेलो
Hello. May I
अब
request
Yeah,
you?
yeah. Sorry.
May I request you to please continue with the welcome address, sir, because there were some technical issues.
There are some technological problem beyond my control,
Yes,
so
sir.
I could not help it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had almost finished. So I was talking about Swami Vivekananda devoted his life to directing the strength of the youth for the services of the nation. He wished for the youth to recognize their potential and to express their views. This his goal was to inspire young people to the point where they could stand with the British face and face the atrocities and achieve independence. He acknowledged that if an individual dares to glimpse beyond what is, he can accomplish anything he desires. Swami Vivekananda was born on 12th January 1863 in a Kayastha family. He was the sixth child of his parents. The childhood name was Narendra Dutt. In 1982, in Dakshineshwar Kali Temple, he considered Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans as his spiritual guru. That was on 1st May 1983. He founded the Ramakrishna mission. Swami Vivekananda was a great spiritual leader of the modern world, a great lover of humanity whose unconditional love extended to all people without any distinctions of caste, class, creed, race, religion, religion. So today his philosophy is very relevant in today's world, and youth should get inspirations from his teaching. Youth should learn, study the literature or given by Swami Vivekananda and get inspirations from his teaching. I have already taken a long time. I will not take much time now because other speakers are there. So thank you very much, and I wish all the best for this webinar, success of the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir, for this welcome address of yours and the inspiring words. Thank you once again. And now, let me introduce you to the CEO of Subharati University, Dr. Shalya Raj. Due to some preoccupations and her prior commitments, she is not in a position to join us in this online event today, but I'll be reading out her message. Dr. Shalya Raj has earned her graduate degree from STM College of Dental Sciences, Dhanwar, and has completed her master's degree in conservative dentistry and endodontic from Subharati Dental College. She is presently working as an associate professor at Subharati Dental College. Dr. Shalya believes that tomorrow begins now. To spread the light of education for the learners near and far, She has been strategically developing the distance education program of the university in the capacity of the director. Realizing her sense of purpose and a sense of direction to maintain academic excellence, the Board of Trustees has nominated her as the CEO of the trust. She is a trained Kathak dancer and Hindi classical singer. Her edition and endeavor have won her various accolades in the field of painting, craft, and drama. The Empower Women Prosperous India Award 2019 by Global Media on 8th anniversary was awarded to her. Certificate of Special Achievement Nari Shakti ko Pranam in recognition for a record of outstanding accomplishments by Bribhumi Foundation on 19th June 2019, and the Outstanding Peace Activist Award was awarded at 6th Global Awards of IBEI YSSSRF in 2016. Such as inspiring introduction of our CEO, very dynamic Dr. Shalya Raj. And now I would like to read the message out, which has been shared by ma'am. Youth is the harbinger of change, and a determined youth is plentiful to shape, nurture, and sustain the social order. It gives me immense pleasure to note that the National Youth Day, to mark the birth anniversary of one of the most illustrious sons of the soil, Swami Vivekanand Ji, will be celebrated on 12th January 2022 under the aegis of Swami Vivekanand Chair, located at Maharishi Aurobindo Subharati College and Hospital of Naturopathy and Yogic Sciences. India is a young country where almost 65% of its population is between 20 to 35 years. The youth of today is motivated and barely believes in the rules set by the elders. Instead, it has chosen to tread newer paths and unravel newer horizons. The need of the hour is to nurture and channelize the energies of the modern youth and letting them shoulder the responsibilities so that they can play a major role in nation building. If they are provided with the right impetus, they can excel in various walks of life, be it the sports, medicine, technology, and many more. The young blood is in a hurry to achieve much more in a shorter span of time. They have the required aptitude and limitless potential to surmount the uncharted terrains and at times have been termed as impulsive and impatient. They are vibrant, upbeat, keen to learn, and are not bogged down by the failures that they encounter en route to their goals. They may seek the word of advice now and then, but have their own set of rules. With these few words, I would like to convey my best wishes to Dr. Simi Gurwara, convener Swami Vivekanand Chair, for her enthusiastic efforts in organizing this event, which would further uphold the name and tradition of the institution as well as that of Subharati University. Thank you so very much, ma'am, for your encouragement and words of wisdom. Thank you. I would now like to introduce the guest speaker for this online event today, the Chinmaya Mission, Chinmaya Heritage Chennai mentor, Swami Mitranandaji. Swami Mitrananda, a direct disciple of H.H. Swami Chinmayananda, has been associated with the Chinmaya Mission from his young age. Swami Mitrananda is the mentor of Chinmaya Mission, Chennai, publisher of Chinmay Kosh, an international youth magazine. He is the founder of Chinmay Academy of Management. He is the founder of Chinmay Academy for Civil Services too. Swami Mitrananda is a creative writer, daring adventurer, and vigilant administrator who has traveled across 35 countries to impart the wisdom of Gita, Upanishads, and other Vedantic texts. He initiated the movement Youth Empowerment Program and has trained over 600 youngsters across the world to serve Indian knowledge traditions for 1 year in urban and rural parts of India. His innovative methodology of teaching and logical interpretations of ancient Hindu philosophy has made him very popular globally and mainly with the youth. We are so very blessed today, Swamiji, to have you as the guest speaker on this auspicious occasion of National Youth Day. May I now request you to please Shower us with your blessings and enlighten and empower us with the ideas and ideologies of Swami Vivekananda and your message to the youth on this special day today.
Namaskar. My salutations to everyone. Namaste. Good morning. Vivekanand ji said, struggle is his motto. This is a beautiful quote of his, where he says, struggle was my motto last 10 years. When it was all dark, I used to say struggle. When light is breaking in, I say struggle. So struggle was his motto. That's what Vivekananda ji said. 10 years of his life is what we all know. When he was Narendra, he was born in 1863. Until 1893, we hardly knew about him. As Narendra, he was probably known in his university or to few people living in Bengal, Kolkata mainly. And when he joined Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, probably they got to know him in Dakshineshwar, but rest of the world did not know anything about him. But when this person reached Chicago in 1893, when he reached Chicago in 1893, he was 30 years old. And from there we know him. And when he was 39, he passed away. So when Vivekananda says here, 10 years, for last 10 years, struggle was my motto. Now that is very important for us to know, that struggle was his motto. Because most of us give up soon. We don't struggle. And Vivekananda, as I told you, was known only for those 8-9 years of work. What he did made an impact across the globe. And for this person, his motto was struggle, strive. We should not quit. Many young people take up, they pursue something for a while and then they quit. Don't quit. Vivekananda says struggle. When things are dark, he says, I tell myself struggle. When light is breaking in, I tell myself struggle. When things are dark, struggle. When light is breaking in, struggle. Now this word struggle is very important for us. We need to keep this part of our life. Because many people give up if they have struggled a little more, and that would have made all the difference. Just because they give up soon, without struggling, they fail to reach the goal. So struggle is a powerful word we need to take from Swami Vivekananda and apply it in our life. Struggle. Once you set your goals, struggle. There will be obstacles. Struggle. It could be dark. Struggle. Light can be breaking in. Things can become easy, but don't forget to struggle. This is important. This way, if we go on struggling, we will certainly achieve our goal. It would be easy for us to do that. Struggle. How did he start this? Vivekananda, another beautiful quality of Vivekananda, which we need to keep in mind, is from his life. In his childhood, when he was a kid, there was probably a neighbor, or in his neighborhood, there was a tree, there was a house which had a lot of mango trees. And young children used to go there and probably pluck the fruits. So to keep the children away, maybe they used the term that this place is haunted. This is a haunted house, and in that tree lives a ghost. This is a haunted house, and in that tree lives a ghost. So children don't go there. And one day Vivekananda went. He was probably 5 years old. Went into that garden, climbed up a tree, stayed all night. And then he came down next morning. And his mother probably thought, because they had a very palatial house, she probably thought he was sleeping in with some other uncle or aunt in some other room. But in the morning, he told her, I went to that house. I stayed on that tree all night. I checked for myself, and there are no ghosts. This quality of Vivekananda is very, very important. That from a childhood itself, he was very, very clear on checking out for himself. He has to verify it for himself. He was seeking verification on every experience which came to him, or every instruction which came to him. He was looking out for that, for every instruction, every guidance, everything what people said. He was looking if he can verify it. That's why as he grew up, when people were talking about God, his first question was, did you experience God? Did you see God? Anybody who spoke about it, he would ask, did you see God? Did you see God? So he was always verifying. Vivekananda met Rabindranath Tagore's father. And in the conversation, he asked the same question. Have you met God? Have you seen God? And Tagore's father said, son, I have not seen God. But looking at your eyes, I have a feeling you will see so. The question is eyes. The determination, the fire, the seeker was so evident. So he said, looking at it, I have a feeling you will see God. But there also his first question was, have you seen God? He wanted verification. Young people who are listening to this talk, please keep these 2 points important. Don't give up on struggle. Continue to struggle. We will see the light. It could be hard. Continue to struggle. And whatever is thrown at you, don't accept it blindly. Verify, clarify, arrive upon your own conclusions. Don't accept because it is thrown at you. Verify. This way, Vivekananda, as he grew up, clarifying, verifying, he was attending an English lecture in his university. And the lecture was on Wordsworth's poem, Daffodils. So the English professor was talking, and he was talking about daffodils moving in the wind. When the wind passes, how the daffodils shake. How beautiful it is to see it moving. When he saw that, the poet goes into a trance looking at it. He saw it and he went into a trance, lost himself there on the beauty of this daffodils. So he speaks about trance. And the professor who was taking class for Narendra was talking about trance. And immediately Vivekananda stepped in and said, sir, what is trance? And the professor started answering whatever he knows. This is trance, like it's a state of wonder. It's a state where the mind goes beyond thoughts and stuff like that. So the immediate next question, have you experienced trance? Have you experienced trance? If you're talking about trance, do you know trance? Have you experienced it? That was the question. For that question, the professor said, I do not know what trance is, but I know a man who knows it. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa of Dakshineshwar, he has experienced trance. You can, whenever you get to meet him, you can ask him. He will tell you what trance is. Now, this was Vivekananda. This quality our youngsters should cultivate. Simply because someone is telling, you should not accept, clarify. Just because you admire somebody, that person saying something need not be true. You see what happens today in our social media, Twitter, etc. Someone says something. It could be a celebrity, a cricketer, or it could be a cinema actor. It could be somebody. They just say some vague things, weird things, and you see the number of likes. 40,000 likes, 50,000 likes for weird things like today I was in the sunshine. 45,000 likes. And there was a celebrity in the US, a film star, a teenage craze. She said, I ate cereals for the first time. I ate cereals for the first time. And 40,000, Twitter crashed that day. What are you liking? What are you admiring? Just because somebody whom you like in that particular, if you admire a sports star, it is that game you admire, there you recommend. Not that he speaks about sunshine and then you go like redundant stuff, they keep putting it up and there is a following, huge in number. So this is important, very, very important for us to know that what we have to verify. Young India needs this. If we can start verifying everything what people say, I tell you, we will go a long way. Then in our country, substance will be valued, not glamour. Today you take anything which comes from a glamorous person and one accepts blindly. Vivekananda's important lesson 2. First, struggle. Lesson number 2 from his life, verify. Verify for yourself. This way, he finally went and met his guru, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. When he met Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, there he was talking about God, and Vivekananda asked the same question, have you seen God? And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's reply was, I have seen God more clearer than I am seeing you. Please think. Have you seen God? Yes. I've seen God more clearer than I'm seeing you. For the first time, he met somebody who has experienced divine. Because with all authority, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was saying, I've seen him as closer than you. That made him connect. And then the tutorship began. The journey between the student and the teacher grew up. And in fact, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, I was actually waiting for you. You took so much time to come. I was waiting for you. Now that you have come, I know what I have to hand over, what I have to inspire, then I can go. My purpose would be over. I was waiting for you. And Vivekananda stayed with Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, studied. But here, before we go more into Vivekananda's teaching, one more aspect of his life is very important. Vivekananda was born in a very affluent family. A family where they had a huge palatial house. And he had many, many animals as his pets, etc. In that house, he lived, he grew up, but times came. There was famine and various things. The family lost all wealth. They have to sell that house, get to a very, very ordinary house, live in absolute poverty, struggling for food. He has seen the richness and the man has seen poverty. He has experienced both. Richness and poverty together. This is what made Vivekananda so special. He knows what it is to sleep without eating food, what it is to feel hunger. That's why when Vivekananda appealed to people, feel for the poor, people felt. They felt for the poor because his appeal was genuine, because it was his experience. He has experienced wealth and he has experienced poverty. The man experienced both. This is important. And this way, and the third point which I want to tell you about Vivekananda today is, Vivekananda was an avid traveler. He traveled. Across Bharat, he traveled. When he was with Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he was with Dakshineshwar. And after that, when Ramakrishna Paramahamsa attained Samadhi, Vivekananda went away walking, wandering monk. And that is called Parivirajaka. walking, wandering. This travel of Vivekananda is very, very important because it made him identify with all Bharat. It made him identify with all India. And he felt for India. So the third aspect, young people, please learn from Vivekananda that travel makes you expand your horizons. Travel makes you grow. All great masters traveled across. If you see from Bharat, we had kings who traveled the high seas. From places like Tamil Nadu, people have gone to Cambodia, Georgia, Bali. These are the places people traveled on ships. And on the western coast of India, if you see, people travel to East Africa. People travel to Cape of Good Hope. Business. We were traveling. Once we made travel, trade came. Indian prosperity came. That's why even 1,000 years ago, when India was really traveling across and we were so advanced that time, our GDP was so high compared to the rest of the world. Almost 29-30% we were. Because Indians were very good travelers. And Vivekananda was also a very good traveler. And in India, which is so beautifully placed, we call it Tirtha Yatra. Yatra to a Tirth. Imagine people living in southern India traveling to Himalayas to experience Chardham Yatra. Badri, Kedar, Gangotri, Yamunotri. What would be the richness of the person when a person moves from one part of the country to another part of the country? What are the food habits? What are the difficulties? What are the climate weather changes? The food habits, the clothing, culture. And once you experience all this, this makes you stronger. So Vivekananda was an avid traveler. Young people, please understand, traveling makes us expand. And Vivekananda's vision expanded. And since he traveled across India, he could feel for India. That's why when he went to Kanyakumari, when he stayed on that rock for 3 days, he sat quietly for himself. And all his love and feeling for India started coming up. And that's when he made that call to go to the United States to address the World Parliament of Religion. So struggle, verification, travel. And what he learned from his guru made Vivekananda what he is, got anchored. And then when he went to United States, and when he addressed the World Parliament of Religion, all of us know after that it is history. Till then, Vivekananda was not known to the world. 30 years old, not known. And he moved on when he was 39. 9 years he did the work. These 9 years he created a multinational spiritual organization. An organization which had centers around the globe. 9 years. What an impact a person made. Shook the world. Brought Bharat to the forefront. Made people see how Bharat should be seen. And that was him. As a matter of 9 years he did. So we have to be inspired by this person. And it is wonderful that from 1985, his Jayanti is seen as a National Youth Day. And that is important because such a youth icon he was, who knew the importance of struggle, who was not a blind believer, who went on to verify everything, whatever he heard, but it needs to be personally validated, clarified, traveled across, and finest ambassador for India. And in the World Parliament of Religion, when he made his case and made his talk, it was probably for 2 or 3 minutes maximum, but that changed the face of Bharat. And from then onwards, he was the most wanted, sought out speaker for the rest of the Parliament of Religion. And Swamiji stayed in the United States for a few years further, and there was constant demand. And from there he organized the institute called Ramakrishna Mission in Kolkata. but he was in the United States sending funds, etc., because India was under the colonial rule and we were in poverty too. So he made sure. And then he came to India and there was a rising reception. The kings came to see him because they felt here is a mendicant who represented their value system at the world platform, and it was accepted so well. And I'd like to narrate one or two incidents of Vivekananda's life. One is when he just reached the United States. At that time, there was a lot of discrimination, racism based on the human skin color, blacks versus whites, skin color. And so someone was treating Vivekananda quite insulting, and and the term they used against the blacks, very derogatory term called Negro, which is unacceptable, but that's the term they used. And so they called him also a Negro. And a person who was traveling with Vivekananda at that time said, "Why don't you tell them you're not one of them, you are from India?" Because the respect for Indians was slightly different. Brown color skin was slightly different from black color skin. So they said, "You say you're from India, they won't call you a Negro." And Vivekananda said, "What do you mean?" And this is the line I want to read for you. "What? Rise at the expense of another? I did not come to earth for that. Rise at the expense of another. I didn't come here for that. This racism is ugly. And to say, oh, no, that is black. Brown race is slightly better than black. I'm not that, don't call me." No, he didn't. He said, "What? You have come here for that?" "No, I didn't come into this earth to stand over somebody, to rise at another person's expense." See his vision. And he stood by it. He said, this is nonsense. I don't believe in this. And I don't want to stand over somebody to prove, okay, don't ill-treat me. I'm not them. No, this concept, what you have is wrong. He stood up for that at every point. And when Vivekananda went around doing his work in the United States, and then when he came back to India also, and he was by then well known to the people, many of his disciples started coming to India. And some of them, he met them in the US itself, and they were happy studying from him, learning from him. And he introduced yoga to them, Raja Yoga to them. He introduced Vedanta to them to that level which they can accept, which a level they can receive. That way he introduced. And they felt so nice about it. And naturally, when you learn something from your guru, you offer something back as Guru Dakshina. So these students, the Western disciples, asked Vivekananda, "What can we give you as Guru Dakshina? What can we give you?" And Vivekananda said, "Love India. That is your Guru Dakshina." What a beautiful statement. Love India. That is your Guru Dakshina. It is really a nice thing that Government of India introduced his Jayanti as National Youth Day, because the man asked his Western disciples to love India as their Guru Dakshina. That was his love for Bharat. And this is how Vivekananda inspired the world, and he had great commitment, a different kind of a reformer, made things completely different. And one quote I would take now for all of us to remember qualities like struggle, verification, avid traveling, stand up for what you believe fearlessly, and one of the most famous statements of him is, "Proclaim the God in you." What a powerful line. Proclaim the God in you. Invoke the divine in you. Proclaim. You and I are divine. We are living life far below our potential. We are living life far below our potential. And Vivekananda says, invoke the divine in you. Proclaim the God in you. You and I are divine, and we are not proclaiming that. The word proclaim is so powerful. Proclaim the divine in you. Let us start living life to our full potential. How do I do it? How do I proclaim the divine? Then the whole life changes. How do I do it? Study Gita. Study spirituality. Read Vivekananda's letters. Beautiful letters. His volume, the complete works of Vivekananda is so beautiful. But if you can't read the whole thing, lack of time and all that, I recommend start with reading his letters. One book full of his letters. Start reading. These books will guide you how to proclaim the divine within, how to proclaim the God within. And that will be the best. By proclaiming the divine within, our standard of life increases. Not living. Standard of living is a better house, better car. Standard of life is the quality. Quality of life. How we look at life. What strength we have in handling life. That improves. So standard of life has to rise. Then these are the best books. And that way when we proclaim the divine, our standard of life goes up. This would be the best contribution. So as young people, don't forget to struggle. Stop being blind believers, be it celebrities, be it spiritual people, be it politicians, be it anybody. Verify for yourself, because verification will raise the standards of substance. Blindly following will only glamour will dominate. The moment you verify, substance will dominate. And substance has to dominate Bharat, not glamour. So stop this blind belief. Vivekananda was not a blind believer. He was verifying every time, clarifying, finding it for himself. Second, travel across Bharat. Only when you travel to the interiors of Bharat, across south and north and east, west, then the feeling for Bharat will come. That feeling when we have, nobody can stop, because from that feeling we will act. When you love, you will give your best. If he has asked Western disciples to love India, how much we must be loving Bharat. When we love, we will not compromise. Love knows no compromise. Love knows to give the best. By loving Bharat, we will give the best. Travel across. He did it. Adi Shankara traveled across. Most of these great people traveled across. And once you travel across Bharat, you know for it. Pick up that from Vivekananda. Against racism. No discrimination based on linguistics, color of the skin, the place where we are born. No racism. All are divine. That's why that's a lovely line where he says what? Rise at the expense of another? No. I have not come to earth for it. What a beautiful line. Say no to it. Read his books. Read his letters. Read his literature. This will inspire us to proclaim the God within. There is God and he is not being claimed. And we have to make that claim. The books will make us look within, and by which we can proclaim the God within. Then we will also live our life to the full potential, like how Vivekananda lived. We will also live our life fearlessly, like how he lived. We will also live our life with absolute strength, like what he had. That would be the beautiful way to celebrate National Youth Day, because our nation is a young nation. A lot of things lies on the shoulders of young people. Please understand. Young people have to take it up. So these qualities, what we discussed, like struggle and verification, travel and living by your conviction, fearlessness, strength, all this is Vivekananda. And that would be the best Guru Dakshina from our side, inspired by his teaching and trying to live what he has taught us. It was nice talking to you. Thank you very much. Now we are open for discussion if there is anything you want to clarify.
Well, thank you so very much, Swami Mitrananji. And how beautifully you said that one should never give up on struggles in life, because life is all about struggle, verification, and travel. Very truly said. Uh, I really like the fact that Swami Vivekanandji, when he was asked to ask the Guru Dakshina, he said, "Love India" to his Western disciples. Uh, we have, Swamiji, today some students with us who are very curious to talk to you, and they have some queries, and they want the answers from you. So I would request you to please listen to them and then to try to give, the answers to the queries, because they're very, very curious. And this spirit of inquiry, I hope, lives on and will further increase after having an interactive session with you. So we can now ask the students to join in, please. Yes. You first, please tell your name and the course that you are pursuing, and then come up with the question that you have for Swamiji. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ira, please turn on the mic, Ira.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, you're audible.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. So, my question is that how can the youth of today in this modern world connect with the teachings of Swamiji practically? And how can they propagate themselves, the ideas of Swamiji in this world?
He lived here only in this world, just few hundred years back, 150 years ago, and at a more difficult time he lived, and his teaching naturally would be very, very inspiring. I would suggest a very simple way. First, read his books. Step one, read his books every day, let us say for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, probably 3-4 pages. Read. Okay. And then on what you have read, for rest of the day, you see if that is applicable in your life. And in the evening, introspect, did you apply it? These 3 steps. Okay. First is read every day. Spend some 10-15 minutes of reading, because only by reading we will get to know what he was talking about. He was fearless. Now it is so easy to say become fearless like him. But how did he become fearless? When you read, you will arrive upon it. So being fearless, is it very important or not today? Important to live life fearlessly. To live life with full strength is very important. Mentally, we have to be strong. This is important. So all that what he has lived is absolutely practical. And it is easily doable. Only thing is to start and have consistency. So once you read, reflect over it, and in the evening introspect, have you managed to practice it? Pick up one value. And I'll tell you more, let us break it even more little more easier. Let's say Vivekananda was always balanced. He was not getting agitated. It's a great quality he had. At all times, he had the strength and he saw life balanced and he was not agitated. Now, how do I practice this? Okay, let us do it this way, a little more easier. Pick up this value of not to be disturbed and practice it for only 1 hour tomorrow. Let's say from morning 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., let anything happen to this world, I will not be disturbed. Let anything. It can be anything, but I will not be disturbed for 1 hour. After 1 hour, I can. If I have to get angry, I can let me get angry. But 1 hour, I will stay balanced. anything, I will remain balanced for 1 hour. If you can manage to practice one of his teachings for 1 hour in a day, I'm telling you, without your knowledge, you'll expand it for 2-3 hours next day. Slowly it will expand. And you will find in 6 months' time, so much of Vivekananda has gone deep within you. And it will start reflecting. So pick up a particular value, what Vivekananda ji has said, apply it for 1 hour in your life. Every day. Just make sure this 1 hour only I'll apply. No matter how people are going to irritate me, I will stay calm. After that 1 hour, I may break down. I may scream. But that 1 hour, I will show control. So if you start something like this, it will eventually build up. So my simple suggestion, how to make it practical, read his books every day for 10-15 minutes. That's very important. And see what you have read, how you can apply for rest of the day. End of the day, introspect again. Did you manage to apply it? Okay, this is one. And choose probably 1 hour in a day to practice. And that 1 hour will slowly expand. It will become a habit soon, and it will be part of your life. Okay.
Well, Ira, I'm sure you must have got the answer to your question, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Very rightly,
Yes, ma'am.
Swamiji has suggested, a number of ways, because you have to read. Unless and until you read about Swamiji, you won't know what he stood for. I hope you got your answer, Ira.
Yes, ma'am. That was
Okay,
very knowledgeable. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, dear. Okay, can we have the next student? Yes, please introduce yourself very quickly and then put up the question to Swamiji.
Go ahead.
Please switch on the mic. Switch on the mic, please. Switch on your mic, please. Switch on your mic, please.
Ma'am, I've switched it on.
Okay, no, you're audible. Go on.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So my question, it's like more of a dilemma. I wanted to ask you that, like Gandhiji, he taught us non-violence, ahimsa, and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, he actually fought with an army. So, sir, what are your views on this?
The word ahimsa is translated as non-violence. That translation is wrong. Ahimsa actually means non-injury, non-injurious. Okay. So we have to keep this in mind. That and Vivekananda, if you're asking about Vivekananda's life, I'll tell you an incident. When he was sailing from Bharat to US, in the ship he was training, he met Tata also, the senior Tata, suggested him to start an institute, and that became IIT. Okay. So in the ship, he was interacting with different people, and one person was condemning India. He's talking bad about India. Vivekananda held him by his collar. By his collar. He's a sannyasi, okay. Held him by his collar, and he said, one more word about Bharat, I'll throw you into the sea. Now you call this violent? Is Vivekananda violent in that action? Why? The other person crossed his limit of purposely saying things which are derogatory. Okay, so you have to understand when General Dyer can come and give an order like saying, okay, shoot down people in Jallianwala Bagh or anywhere else, harmless people who have just gone there to celebrate their festival, and it was a meeting, and you go shoot them down. This is not the way. So when there was other person was not ready to understand violence, like your softness, not ready to understand non-violence, then there have to be people to rise up. Simple question. Duryodhana took the kingdom of what belongs to Yudhishthir. Now, what did Krishna tell Arjuna? Krishna told Arjuna, fight for it. Arjuna wanted to run away. No, this is too much. I can't fight. Let me go. Krishna said, nothing doing. That is the running away is adharma. You fight. Ravan took Sita. Did Ram do satyagraha? Or went after Ravan and got Sita back? What is right? Got Sita back, right? Ram tried sending Hanuman first to negotiate. Ravan was not listening. After crossing Lanka, on reaching Lanka, Ram sent Angad, go negotiate. If possible, let's avoid war. Ravan did not budge. When war is inevitable, we should stand up for it. Okay. Krishna went to Kauravas and spoke about peace, Krishna himself. Sanjaya came from the Kaurava side for negotiating, and Krishna went as a peace missionary from the Pandavas to Kauravas talking peace. Let's agree. They were not ready for it. And to that extent, Krishna actually offered, saying, give them 5 villages. The Pandavas will be quiet. Or 1 village with 5 houses, they'll be quiet. Duryodhana picks up a needle and puts on the ground and says, even this tip of the needle land I will not give. Now war was inevitable. You understand? So peace you should try. If the other person cannot understand, you have a right to live. That cannot be snatched away. Your right to live is not violence. That is called self-defense. So I very clearly understand Subhash Chandra Bose move, and that's what the government of British government finally said. Attlee, the chief minister of, the prime minister of England, he said, what's his name? Churchill became the opposition minister, and Churchill was asking Attlee, when I was the prime minister of India, prime minister of British. Now you are the prime minister of British, and why are you considering giving freedom to India? Let me ask this question. And Churchill asked this question, and Attlee's reply was, we can't trust Indians in the British Army anymore. Indians who have joined the British Army, we cannot trust them anymore. Why? Because there is Subhash Chandra Bose and people are going over to him. So you can't depend anymore on the Indians in the British Army, number 1. Number 2, he said civil servants from England are not willing to work in India. They feel they are not safe anymore. 2. And 3rd, he said, there's nothing to take from India anymore. Now maintaining India would be like a white elephant. So it's better we give. So he did not say, because Gandhi is non-violence, I'm giving freedom. He rather said he is not able to trust the Indians in the British Army. So I think Subhash played a vital role in this freedom, and it is in line with what Ram did. It is in line with what Krishna did. It is very much in line with how Vivekananda lived. You don't harm others, but if you are going to be harmed, you need to protect yourself.
Very true, Swamiji, and very rightly said. Zenat, I hope you got the answer to your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you for beautifully answering my query, like with so many examples. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Very good. Thank you. And next we have, yes, please. Please introduce yourself and put up the question.
Good morning, sir and ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. I am Ekansh Singh and I am from MBBS 2018 batch. I wanted to ask that how has the modern advancement affected the mentality of the youth in India?
Say it again.
how has the modern advancement affected the mentality of youth of India?
We have to understand, see, one of the big mistakes we do is we compare modern with Western. Use modern as technology. Don't compare Western lifestyle as modern. This is a big confusion people have. Western lifestyle as modern is not a solution at all. Technology as modern is the right thing. So the Indian youth should be inspired with technology and balance it with tradition. Technology and traditional balance will keep India moving forward. Now let us say, for example, simple answer. In India, we say worship parents. Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava. Is it a good value to keep or no? I want you to think. Is it a good value to keep or no? It's a good value. What happens if this value is not there? We adopt the Western lifestyle and we drop this particular value. At 18, the child leaves the home in Western India. I mean, in the Western world, they leave the house. And no more the parents are connected any further. Matru Devo Bhava, worship your mother as God is not there. Worship your father as God. Worship your parents as divine is not there. Now, who takes care of those parents in old age? Government. Government provides funds for social security. Do you want India to get there? What would be the economic loss if this one value goes off from India? Imagine government providing care for the senior citizens and providing funds. Trillions of money will go only in this. Economically, we'll go bankrupt. But this one value, take care of your parents, worship them as divine. They are your first connect to divinity because they love you the most. Now, it's a great Indian value. Why should India give up this value in developing technology? Technology and tradition can go along together. Civilization and tradition are in conflict, not technology. So the word modern which you are using, if it is in line with technology, most welcome. If it is in line with westernization, why should we become imitators? What happened to our originality? We were one of the best race on the earth. We have given to the world the best things. We introduced meditation to the world. We introduced Gita to the world. We introduced zero to the world. We have introduced so many things. We are the first to measure stars. Today, why should I imitate someone else? So if the Indian pride comes inside, this westernization will drop, then it will be technology. Technology and tradition should go together. So if the youth are inspired for that, then that will make a lot of difference. Yep.
All right. I hope, Akansh, now the difference between modern and Western is clearer to you.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you.
very good. That's very good. Thank you. Can we have the next student? Yes, please introduce yourself very quickly.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, very much.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, ma'am. I am
Morning.
Tanmay Gupta from MBBS 18 batch, and I have a question. How can today's youth practice spirituality? How can I be a spiritual person? I need your guidance.
And what is your understanding of spirituality?
Well, I believe spirituality is basically our consciousness
Okay.
and our nature and how we treat people, how we imbibe values, how we how we practice yoga. Like, I need more guidance.
What stops you doing all that? Nothing, right? Your question is, how can I be spiritual in today's world? Respecting
Yeah.
people around you, protecting nature. Absolutely original Hindu thought. We called rivers as mother. We called our rivers as mother. We called earth itself as mata. Reverence today is required, isn't it? To the earth, what we have done. Now that is a absolutely spiritual value. Respecting people around is spiritual value. To serve people without expectation is a spiritual value. To give your best, to live life to your full potential is a spiritual value. Please think. Your mind is scattered and the mind runs all over the place. When the mind is running all over the place, you can't bring your best. If your mind and body is aligned together, if the mind and body is brought to the same place, your potential to perform increases. Mind, body coming together. Now, spirituality helps you to bring the mind and body together. Japa, when you do, you remember the name of the Lord in the mind and you move the beads at the body. Mind, body is aligned. When you are mind and body aligned, you are in the now, you are in the present. When you are more in the present, you perform much better. It reduces your anxiety. So spirituality is a absolutely healthy way of life. That's why I asked you what according to you is spirituality. If you thought living in a cave is spirituality, no. Arjuna wanted to go to a cave. Krishna told him, live here. And the spirituality you talk about, the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, where the dialogue between two people of rulers. Arjuna, king in the making. Krishna already a king. Two soldiers, warriors. And they discussed spirituality in the battlefield. If spirituality can be applied in the battlefield, it can't be applied in corporate field or what? Spirituality is living life with values. Spirituality will make human evolve to divine. Give it a try. Commit to it with regular study. You don't have to renounce anything. You don't have to go to a cave. You don't have to go and sit by a riverside. You don't have to drop anything. You can have everything without possessing. You can have them and play with it. To have and not to possess. You can be. And that's what it is. It's a science, basically. Absolutely practical living science. Okay.
Sanman, is it clear
Yes.
to you what spirituality is all about? So you can be a practitioner now, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Thank you
please.
so much.
Okay, thank you. Who next we have? All right.
Good
Yeah,
morning,
please.
sir and ma'am.
Good morning.
I'm Dr. Palak Singhal, MD 2020 batch. So my question is that you talked about how should we maintain consistency since today's youth is more about instant gratification in whatever we do. So how can we maintain that consistency doing things every day?
What are the things youth today are consistent about? You're consistent in social media, time spent on Facebook consistently, Instagram consistently, Twitter consistently. What else do you spend time consistently?
Like doing daily activities, studying basically day-to-day basis, whatever is required for us to do that we are doing consistently other than what should we be doing.
So what happens if you age quickly? What happens when you have to retire, let us say at the age of 60, and you still have to live another 20 years? What will happen? You understand? If I have to live 20 years after retirement, body deteriorating slowly, I don't have enough strength to handle, all that would be make our life miserable. It is better, it is not to be on social media, it is not spending time on movies or pleasure or whatever, it is balancing. Spend time on your health, because that will be with you. Spend time on developing a strong mind where a situation you don't interpret it as a problem. Today, a small situation, people interpret it as a problem. That shows it's a weak mind. A situation is considered as a problem. And a problem is considered as crisis. It's a weak mind. What would be an ordinary situation? People are calling it problems these days. That means the mind is weak. Spend time to strengthen your mind. Spend time to strengthen your body. Spend time to develop your intellect so that you are able to respond well. So basically, spend little time on what is essential. That is called Viveka. Viveka is that which will tell you Nitya Anitya Vastu iti Viveka. Vivek means discriminative power to know what is Nitya, what is Anitya, what is essential and what is non-essential, what is permanent and what is non-permanent. Spend little time on it. Use the same social media on these discussions. Go there, put a tweet or put a post and say, come on, let us discuss what is essential and non-essential today. So the like-minded people will come forward. Use the same tools to find out the meaning of life. Technology is not harmful. Misusing it gets us into trouble. So basically, why should I be consistent? I should know what is essential, and therefore then I will naturally be consistent.
Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
very nicely explained, Swamiji. And yes, can I have one or two questions more, Swamiji?
One more question because we have gone past 11:30.
Oh, I'm so thankful for your generosity, Swamiji. Thank you so much. One more question. The next student, please, very quickly. Yeah, please.
Namaste, Swamiji. Good morning, everyone. So my question is on education. Though I have a lot more questions, but as we are lacking with time. So my question
Yes. Yes, please.
Network.
is already existing in man. That what Swamiji has with us.
Yes, please. Go on. Yes,
Am I
please
audible?
repeat the question. Repeat the question. You are. Please repeat the question.
Yeah. So my question was, as Swamiji has told that education is the manifestation of perfection which already existed in man. So in today's era, is that our education, what we are perceiving, is in alignment with that thought? And how we can make that education fruitful as per Swamiji's context?
The new education policy is the hope. Okay. New education policy is the hope. I guess you people are studying medicine right now. Medical students, right? Mostly. No, whatever. See, if a person is coming out of the university today, let's say you have done your primary school, middle school, and you've gone to the university.
Yes.
Any of these classes, what you have done, did they teach you how to handle anger? Did our education ever cater to something as simple as handling anger? Anger. I get angry. When I want something, an obstacle comes between me and my desired object, anger is the outcome. When an obstacle arises between me and my desired object, anger is the expression. Anger comes. Did they ever teach me how to handle anger? In my primary school, in my high school? No, right? Did anybody teach you in your school? Was there a lesson how to handle jealousy? So what is the school teaching us? What is this curriculum teaching us? What is essential is not taught. So we need to balance this in the original Gurukula system of Bharat. It is called Paravidya and Aparavidya. Para, spiritual knowledge. Absolute. Para means supreme. Para Brahma, Paramatma, Para, supreme. Supreme knowledge, and apara, that which is not supreme, worldly. So secular and sacred were together. Spiritual and material were together. Knowledge. Today we are looking only at one side and we have ignored spirituality. Ignoring spirituality in the field of education is the sabotage which has happened on India. If that is brought together, everything would be practical. So bringing that side into our curriculum once again is very, very important. Hopefully, the new education policy which the government is contemplating can probably bring that in. Okay.
Thank you so much for your enlightened words.
All right, Swamiji, I thank you so very much for your time. You've been very kind. I thank you for your benevolence, Swamiji. I thank you for your blessings. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Next. All right. So now we have with us Dr. Rahul Bansil, who is Professor and Head Community Medicine. Dr. Rahul Bansil has done MBBS and MD in Social and Preventive Medicine from LLRM Medical College, Meerut, UP. He joined as Assistant Professor at Kasturba Medical College, Bangalore in 1990. Since he has been teaching in some of very well-known medical institutions for the last 30 years. Presently, he is working as Professor and Head of Community Medicine at Subharati Medical College, Meerut. He has more than 70 published articles on various national and international journals. He was given Commonwealth Fellowship to attend international short-term strategic medicine course at UN Training Center at Malta, Europe. He has been awarded Best Teacher Award by Himalayan Institute, Jolly Grant, Dehradun. He strongly believes in principles of holistic health based on bio-psycho-spiritual. So I now request Dr. Rahul Bansil to please come and share his vision and his values on National Youth Day today. Sir, please.
नमस्कार, सभी को नेशनल यूथ डे की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। स्वामी विवेकानंद सुभारती यूनिवर्सिटी की ओर से, चेयर ऑफ स्वामी विवेकानंद की ओर से और संस्कृति विभाग, ये तीन विभागों ने मिलकर आज का ये आयोजन किया है। और मैं बहुत ही शुक्रगुजार हूँ सिमी जी का कि उन्होंने एक महान व्यक्ति को हमें सुनवाया, जो उन्होंने जवाब दिए बच्चों के। दे वर रियली वर्थ लिसनिंग एंड आई ओपनिंग। और अब मैं आपके सामने थोड़ी अपनी बात रखूंगा। स्वामी जी ने बहुत विस्तार से बताया कि कैसे विवेकानंद जी, क्या क्या उनके जीवन की भी उन्होंने बातें बताई, और अद्भुत है ये सब जानना पढ़ना। मैं क्योंकि स्वास्थ्य का एक्सपर्ट हूँ, आई एम एक्सपर्ट ऑफ प्रिवेंटिव एंड सोशल मेडिसिन, तो मैं थोड़ा सा हेल्थ के मामले में व्हाट इज द रेलेवेंस ऑफ टुडेज स्वामी विवेकानंद जी, जो आज प्राकट्य दिवस है उनका, 12 जनवरी 1963 को मकर संक्रांति के दिन जस्ट बिफोर सनराइज उनका कह सकते हैं एक तरह से अवतरण हुआ यहाँ पर। उसके बाद बहुत कुछ हुआ और उनके आने से ही भारत में एक नव चेतना का संचार हुआ। उनके उस शिकागो एड्रेस से, जो वर्ल्ड फेमस एपॉक मेकिंग इवेंट था 11 सितंबर 1893 को, जब उन्होंने विश्व प्रसिद्ध भाषण दिया, इमेजिन करिए भारत की क्या हालत थी। गुलाम देश था, सिपाही म्यूटिनी, या जिसको वो लोग म्यूटिनी कहते हैं, हमारे लिए स्वतंत्रता संग्राम है, वो क्रश किया जा चुका था। हजारों लाखों लोग फांसी पे लटका दिए गए थे। देश में एक डिप्रेशन का, एक सेल्फ डाउट का, लो सेल्फ एस्टीम का एनवायरनमेंट था। पीपल, एक्सेप्ट फ्यू एलीट पीपल जो अंग्रेजों के साथ जुड़े हुए थे, masses of India were in abject poverty and they were in hopeless state. ऐसे में एक जैसा कि स्वामी जी ने बताया, शुरू में वो एफ्लुएंट फैमिली से, पर बाद में गरीबी में आ गए, गरीब परिवार से जुड़े हुए। हम जैसे ही साधारण लोगों का, जब उस समय के लोगों के हिसाब से जो साधारण जैसा दिखने वाला एक साधारण परिवार का व्यक्ति जब खड़ा होता है 7,000 लोगों के सामने उस ऑडिटोरियम में, और जब वो पहला सेंटेंस बोलता है, माय डियर अमेरिकन ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स, 2 मिनट तक तालियां बजती, स्टैंडिंग ओवेशन होता है। उसके बाद जब वो बोले, और उसके बाद जो पूरे विश्व में उनका गुणगान हुआ, अमेरिका में घूमे, यूरोप में भी गए, और 4 वर्ष उन्होंने पूरे भारतवर्ष के बारे में जो गलतफहमी दूर करी। उसके बाद जब वो आए, कोलंबो में जो स्वागत हुआ, चेन्नई में जो स्वागत हुआ, वर्ल्ड कप में जो स्वागत हमने देखा, 83 में वर्ल्ड कप जीता, और उसके बाद जब बाद में जीता, वो स्वागत कुछ भी नहीं है जो डिस्क्रिप्शन स्वामी जी का है। लोग बिछे जा रहे थे पागलों की तरह सड़कों पर, जय स्वामी विवेकानंद जय। और पूरे देश में एक जो ग्लूमीनेस थी, जो एक डिप्रेशन था, जो सेल्फ डाउट था, वो खत्म होना शुरू हुआ। और साथियों, स्पेशली यंग लोगों को कहता हूं, आज जिस स्वतंत्रता में आप सांस ले रहे हैं, वो स्वतंत्रता का बिगुल एक तरह से उनके शिकागो एड्रेस से बजा। वहां से शुरू हुआ द सेकेंड फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल ऑफ इंडिया, जो लगभग 50 साल बाद इट एंडेड इन लिबरेशन ऑफ इंडिया। तो जिस स्वतंत्रता में, जिस स्वतंत्र वायु में आप यंग लोग घूम रहे हैं, फ्रीडम एक्सप्रेशन को एंजॉय कर रहे हैं, अपने कैरियर प्लान कर रहे हैं, एमएनसीज में काम कर रहे हैं, we owe that in a big way to Swami Vivekananda's epoch making journey of the West. वहीं से भारत के बारे में उनका नजरिया बदला, और वहीं से हम भारतीयों का अपने बारे में नजरिया बदला। ये तो बात हुई। सवाल ये है कि हेल्थ से इसका क्या रिलेशन है? क्या आज के इस दिन को, स्वामी जी के इस प्राकट्य दिवस को, क्या हम हेल्थ से जोड़ के दे सकते हैं? तो मैं कुछ कोटेशंस निकाली हैं स्वामी जी के भाषणों में से। एक कोटेशन में वो कहते हैं, जब तक शरीर का रक्त शुद्ध और सशक्त रहता है, उसके शरीर में किसी रोग के कीटाणु नहीं रह सकते। हमारे शरीर का रक्त अध्यात्म है। स्वामी जी ने देश के लिए भी कहा था, हमारे देश के लिए, कि हमारे देश के एसेंस में स्पिरिचुअलिटी है, और हेल्थ में भी इनडायरेक्टली वो यही कह रहे हैं। एक और मैंने उनका निकाला, कॉन्शियसली और अनकॉन्शियसली health can be transmitted. A very strong man living with a weak man will make him a little stronger whether he knows it or not. यानी कि एक बहुत सशक्त आदमी अगर एक कमजोर आदमी के साथ रहता है, तो वो कमजोर को भी सशक्त बनाता है। This is hinting at mind body medicine. I take it as a hint of mind body medicine, जो कि इस समय दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी रिवॉल्यूशन अगर कोई हेल्थ में है, वो है माइंड बॉडी मेडिसिन, और उसके बियॉन्ड है स्पिरिचुअल डायमेंशन ऑफ हेल्थ। इसी तरह वो कहते हैं, वी मस्ट नॉट फॉरगेट हेल्थ इज ओनली ए मींस टू एन एंड। इफ हेल्थ वर द एंड, वी वुड बी लाइक एनिमल्स। एनिमल्स रेयरली बिकम अनहेल्दी। वो कहते हैं हेल्थ, स्वामी जी कहते हैं हेल्थ इज नॉट द एम। वेस्ट में कहें तो वो हेल्थ ही एम है। अगर हम एलोपैथी की बात करें, दे डोंट टॉक बियॉन्ड बीइंग हेल्दी, बट अगर हम आयुर्वेद की बात करें, वो हेल्थ को भी किस लिए, हेल्थ टू अटेन सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन, मोक्ष के लिए। अगर चरक संहिता में हम देखें तो मोक्ष को एंड माना है। तो कहने का मतलब ये, स्वामी जी ऑल्सो इज हिंटिंग, स्वामी विवेकानंद जी, कि हेल्थ कैन नॉट बी द एंड। हेल्थ से मिलना क्या है? सेल्फ एनलाइटनमेंट। उसका इशारा यहाँ पर है। योगा के बारे में एक प्रश्न पूछा गया, डज योगा सीम टू कीप द बॉडी इन फुल हेल्थ एंड वाइटैलिटी? किसी ने पूछा स्वामी जी विवेकानंद जी से। इट डज, इट स्टेव्स ऑफ डिजीज। क्लियर आंसर उन्होंने दिया। तो अब जो योगा की लहर चल रही है, उस परिप्रेक्ष्य में भी हम देखें, अभी जो स्वामी मित्रानंद जी ने एक बात कही कि इंडिया हैज गिवन द बेस्ट टू द वर्ल्ड, चाहे वो योगा कहें, चाहे जीरो कहें, चाहे मेडिटेशन कहें। एक और चीज मैं जोड़ना चाहूंगा यहाँ पर, हेल्थ में स्पिरिचुअल डायमेंशन को भी इंडियंस ने ही जोड़ा। मैं यहां नाम लूंगा देश बंधु बिष्ट, डॉक्टर डीबी बिष्ट, जो डीजीएचएस थे इंडिया के और डब्ल्यूएचओ के फिर इंडियन रिप्रेजेंटेटिव थे। उन्होंने 1983 में साथियों स्पेशली स्टूडेंट्स को कह रहा हूं, he was the first person, he was also Director General Health Services of our country, then he joined WHO as Indian representative. He was the first doctor to give a concept paper on spirituality, its role in health in 1983, और WHO के डॉक्यूमेंट में मौजूद है 1983 में जो कंसेप्ट पेपर बना था हेल्थ फॉर ऑल, उसमें स्पिरिचुअलिटी को जोड़ा गया। ये पायनियर रोल भी हमारे इंडियन डॉक्टर ने किया। और विवेकानंद जी भी यही कहते थे, धर्म को वो सेंट्रल मानते थे, धर्म में ही भारत के प्राण हैं, उनका कहना था धर्म में। तो जब भारत के प्राण है तो भारतीय डॉक्टर्स के भी प्राण उसमें होने चाहिए, और ये काम भी भारतीय डॉक्टर ने किया, डॉक्टर डीबी बिष्ट ने। उसके बाद 1998 में 101st एग्जीक्यूटिव काउंसिल ने फिर से हेल्थ के डेफिनेशन को चेंज करने का रिकमेंडेशन दिया। that document is there on internet, 101st executive 1998, I think it was in February या January February में था। They said delete the definition health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being and insert health is a dynamic state of complete physical, mental, spiritual and social well-being। तो ये जो काम बिष्ट साहब ने 83 में किया था, उसका कल्मिनेशन 1998 में हुआ। तो जो विवेकानंद जी कह गए, धर्म ही भारत की आत्मा है, अध्यात्म इज द एसेंस ऑफ इंडियन इथॉस, दैट अप्लाइज टू हेल्थ आल्सो। और मैं यहाँ थोड़ा सा, मुझे अफसोस है इस बात का, दुख भी है कि स्पिरिचुअलिटी इन मेडिसिन में जितना काम वेस्ट में हुआ है, डॉक्टर लैरी डॉजी, डॉक्टर हर्बर्ट बेंसन ने स्पिरिचुअलिटी पर, मेडिटेशन पर जबरदस्त काम किया है, उतना काम हम भारतीय डॉक्टर्स ने नहीं किया है। हम शाई अवे करते हैं, हम इसको पिछड़ापन मानते हैं। मैं आपका आह्वान करता हूं, जो भी मेरे को सुन रहे हैं मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स या बाकी स्टूडेंट्स, प्लीज ऑन दिस डे लेट अस टेक दिस वाव कि हम स्पिरिचुअलिटी को, जैसे कि स्वामी जी ने कहा अभी, मित्रानंद जी ने, है ना, कि स्पिरिचुअलिटी साइंटिफिक, इट इज टोटली साइंस। अगर किसी को साइंस वे में समझना है तो पतंजलि जी का जो योग शास्त्र है वो पूरा साइंटिफिक है, ऐसा करोगे ऐसा होगा, ऐसा करोगे ऐसा होगा। तो ये साइंस समझे पहले तो इसको, और इसको मेडिसिन से जोड़ें, ये समय की पुकार है। और मैं समझता हूं जो डॉक्टर्स ऐसा करेंगे, ये उनके लिए और उन समाज के लिए अहोभाग्य होगा। जो मेरे स्पिरिचुअल मेंटर थे, अब तो नहीं है वो शरीर रूप में, मेरे बहुत सारे डॉक्टर्स के मेंटर थे वो, मैं नाम भी बता देता हूं, वैसे वो मना करते थे, अब तो बता दूंगा। प्रोफेसर ओजस्वी शर्मा जी, वो कहा करते थे कि समय आ गया है कि स्पिरिचुअलिटी को हेल्थ में सेंटर स्टेज पे लाया जाए। और उन्होंने ये भी कहा था, जो डॉक्टर्स इस काम को करेंगे वो उनके लिए और उनके समाज के लिए अहोभाग्य होगा। तो हम आज इस विशेष दिवस पर, जब हम स्वामी जी को याद कर रहे हैं, उनके अभूतपूर्व योगदान को याद कर रहे हैं, उन्होंने जो देश को पुनर्जागरण शुरुआत करी उसको याद कर रहे हैं, एक और पुनर्जागरण हम करते हैं हेल्थ के फील्ड में। लेट अस स्टार्ट साइंटिफिकली एक्सप्लोरिंग द स्पिरिचुअल डायमेंशन ऑफ हेल्थ। इस पर बहुत लिटरेचर है साथियों, बहुत लिटरेचर है। मैंने कई जगह लेक्चर्स दिए हैं, मैडम सिमी से भी मैंने जिक्र किया है कि ये बहुत साइंटिफिक है। तो आज के दिन मैं डॉक्टर्स को एड्रेस कर रहा हूँ, मेरे स्टूडेंट्स को एड्रेस कर रहा हूँ, मुझे मालूम है वो सुन रहे हैं मुझे। लेट अस टुडे टेक अ प्लेज दैट लेट अस साइंटिफिकली एक्सप्लोर स्पिरिचुअलिटी इन मेडिसिन, जो हमें भी फायदा करेगी, आपके फैमिली को फायदा करेगी, आपके मरीजों को फायदा करेगी और देश को फायदा करेगी। कोरोना में भी यही बात निकल के आ रही है, कहीं ना कहीं मेडिटेशन का, प्राणायाम का, स्पिरिचुअलिटी का, होप का, फेथ का भी रोल है इन फाइटिंग विद दिस पेंडेमिक। जहां वैक्सीन का रोल है, जहां मास्क का रोल है, जहां डिस्टेंसिंग का रोल है, वहां स्पिरिचुअलिटी का भी निश्चित रोल है, ऐसा मेरा कन्विक्शन है और ऐसी स्टडीज भी आ रही है। सात्विक लाइफस्टाइल का भी रोल है। तो स्वामी जी को इस रूप में हम याद करें कि वो स्पिरिचुअलिटी को इसेंस मानते थे। तो क्यों ना ये हेल्थ में स्पिरिचुअलिटी सेंस बने और हम भारतीयों को ये लीड लेना चाहिए। अभी तक वेस्टर्नर्स ने लिया है, लेट अस टेक द लीड नाउ एंड स्टडी दिस। जो छात्र छात्राओं ने क्वेश्चन पूछे, बहुत अच्छे क्वेश्चन पूछे, वो भी सुन रहे होंगे, उनसे भी मैं ये कहूंगा स्पिरिचुअलिटी को साइंटिफिकली पढ़ें, डोंट टेक इट एज समथिंग जस्ट ए मैटर ऑफ फेथ। फेथ तो है ही, बट इसमें बहुत साइंस है, बहुत सारी बुक्स हैं। लैरी डॉजी साहब की बुक्स हैं, हर्बर्ट बेंसन की बुक है, बीएम हेगड़े साहब ने काम किया है, डॉक्टर रमेश बिजलानी साहब काम कर रहे हैं, बहुत लोग हैं। तो ये मेरा एक संक्षिप्त संबोधन है आज के दिन। और हमारे छात्र छात्राओं ने, एमबीबीएस के 2018 बैच के लोगों ने बड़ी मेहनत से रोल प्ले प्रैक्टिस किए हैं स्वामी जी के उस समय के जीवन को जीवंत करने के लिए, वो भी आप देखिएगा। और कुछ और भी उसमें इंटरेस्टिंग बातें हैं। और बाकी ये तीनों संस्थाएं हमारी साथ में लगी हुई हैं। आपके सामने जो बचा हुआ है वो भी इंटरेस्टिंग है, उसको मिस मत करिए। इसी के साथ मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूं और धन्यवाद देता हूं हमारे संस्थापक महोदय का, डॉक्टर अतुल कृष्ण जी का, जिन्होंने ऐसा सुंदर वातावरण तैयार किया है, माहौल बनाया है हम सबके लिए, वीसी साहब का, अन्य पदाधिकारियों का, विवेक संस्कृति जी का, जिन्होंने इतना सुंदर संस्कृति का परिसर बनाया, आपको बताएंगे वो, और सिमी जी का, जिन्होंने सारा आयोजन किया है। धन्यवाद। जय भारत, जय सुभारती।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। बहुत व्यवहारिक रूप से आपने महत्ता पर प्रकाश डाला है योग की, आध्यात्म की और ध्यान की, और इसको हमारे स्वास्थ्य से जोड़ते हुए ये बताया है कि किस तरीके से हम अपने जीवन में आध्यात्म का समावेश कर अपने जीवन को ज्यादा सार्थक बना सकते हैं, ज्यादा स्वस्थ बना सकते हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर आपका। और अब मैं बुलाना चाहूंगी डॉक्टर विवेक संस्कृति जी को, जो असिस्टेंट रजिस्ट्रार हैं स्वामी विवेकानंद सुभारती यूनिवर्सिटी में और विभागाध्यक्ष हैं संस्कृति विभाग के। संस्कृति विभाग के साथ सुभारती मेडिकल कॉलेज के साथ स्वामी विवेकानंद चेयर ने आज के इस कार्यक्रम का आयोजन किया है। और हमारे डॉक्टर विवेक संस्कृति जी डॉक्टर हैं योगिक साइंसेस में, जैसे मैंने बताया आपको, एचओडी हैं संस्कृति डिपार्टमेंट के, और एक्स रेडियो स्टेशन हेड FM 90.4 मेरठ के वो रह चुके हैं। राष्ट्रपति पुरस्कार से वो सम्मानित हैं, 3 पुस्तकें वो लिख चुके हैं और हेल्थ को लेकर, स्वास्थ्य को लेकर बहुत जागरूक हैं। तो मैं अब प्रार्थना करूंगी डॉक्टर विवेक संस्कृति जी से कि वो कृपया आए और थोड़ी जागरूकता हमारे दर्शकों के बीच वो देने की कोशिश करें, क्योंकि संस्कृति विभाग जिसके विभागाध्यक्ष हैं उन्होंने बहुत ही सुंदर तरीके से उसको बनाया है और समय समय पर वो कार्यक्रमों का वहाँ आयोजन करते रहते हैं और एक से एक सुंदर कार्यक्रम इस संस्कृति विभाग के द्वारा प्रायोजित किए जाते हैं। तो मैं अब निमंत्रण देती हूँ और आमंत्रित करती हूँ विवेक संस्कृति जी को कि वो प्लीज आए और हमारे बीच अपने विचार प्रस्तुत करें।
जय हिंद, जय भारत। युग पुरुष जिसने भारत की महिमा का मंडन पूरी दुनिया में कर दिया, वो कर्मयोगी, वो परम पूज्य स्वामी विवेकानंद जी के चरणों में सबसे पहले मैं कोटि कोटि नमन करता हूँ, प्रणाम करता हूँ। आज जैसा कि आप सभी को विदित है, राष्ट्रीय युवा दिवस, यानी वो दिन जब हम स्वामी जी के आदर्शों को जीने का, आत्मसात करने का, आत्म अर्पित करने का और उनके विचारों से अपने जीवन को पल्लवित पुष्पित करने का संकल्प लेते हैं। आज के दिन हम स्वामी जी ने जिस विचारधारा का संवर्धन किया उसको और आगे बढ़ाने का संकल्प लेते हैं। ऐसे दिन पर मैं बहुत सौभाग्यशाली हूं कि आज मेडिकल कॉलेज, स्वामी विवेकानंद जो शोध संस्थान है हमारी, वो और संस्कृति विभाग, इनके संयुक्त तत्वाधान में स्वामी विवेकानंद सुभारती विश्वविद्यालय प्रांगण में इस सुंदर आयोजन को आयोजित किया गया। जैसा कि अभी डॉक्टर राहुल बंसल जी ने कहा कि स्वामी विवेकानंद जी के जीवन के प्रत्येक पड़ाव को हर क्षण महसूस करने की आवश्यकता है, न केवल आध्यात्मिक बल्कि अध्यात्म को भी विज्ञान से जोड़कर सारगर्भित करने की जरूरत है। देख कितनी महत्वपूर्ण बात अभी डॉक्टर साहब ने कही। और वास्तव में ये भारत जो आज का बना है, ये एक दो दिन में नहीं बना, ये ऐसे ही ऋषियों, मनीषियों, तपस्वियों की लगातार साधना का प्रतिफल है। सुभारती इन विचारों को जीता है, और जीता इसलिए है क्योंकि हमारे संस्थापक डॉक्टर अतुल कृष्ण जी का स्पष्ट मानना है कि जो संस्था महापुरुषों, मनीषियों, वीरों की तपोस्थली होती है, जहां उनकी आत्माएं बसती हैं, रमती हैं, वहां विद्यार्थियों का चारित्रिक विकास निश्चित होता है। उसी विचारधारा के तहत अगर आप सुभारती में देखेंगे तो हमारे भवन, हमारे प्रतिष्ठान, हमारी सड़कें, हमारे व्यावसायिक प्रतिष्ठान, हमारे विश्वविद्यालय के द्वार, प्रत्येक जगह आप पाएंगे कि किसी न किसी महापुरुष के नाम को अंकित किया गया है। जैसे रानी अवंतीबाई मार्ग, भामाशाह मार्ग, बोम्बू मार्ग, झारखंड के आदिवासी जिन्होंने लोहा लिया अंग्रेजों के विरुद्ध, बिरसा मुंडा मार्ग। ऐसे ही आप देखेंगे, अगर हम आवासीय भवनों की बात करें, अंबेडकर भवन, गुरु रामदास भवन, स्वामी रामतीर्थ भवन। आप प्रतिष्ठानों की बात करें तो प्रत्येक स्थान पर, चाहे वो धन सिंह कोतवाल द्वार हो, स्वयं स्वामी विवेकानंद सुभारती विश्वविद्यालय में स्वामी जी का नाम अंकित है। तो कहीं ना कहीं सुभारती परिवार की विचारधारा ये है कि हम सभी महापुरुषों की विचारधारा का एक समन्वित भाव विद्यार्थियों में आत्मर्पित कर दें, उन्हें उससे सींच दें, और उसी क्रम में आज का ये आयोजन भी रखा गया है। सबसे पहले तो मैं इस आयोजन का बहुत ही कुशल संचालन कर रही डॉक्टर सिम्मी गुरुवारा जी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करता हूं कि अभी तक का कार्यक्रम उन्होंने शब्दों की इतनी सुंदर परिकल्पना से परिमार्जित किया है कि सुनने वाला भी प्रसन्नचित्त हो जाए। और वास्तविकता यह है कि रेस्पेक्टेड मैडम जितनी अच्छी अंग्रेजी बोलती है, उससे कहीं ज्यादा खूबसूरत हिंदी बोलती है। मैं स्वामी जी को भी सुन रहा था। इससे पहले संस्कृति विभाग में अभी एक और लाइव सेशन चल रहा था, जिसमें आज स्वामी अनुरत्तानंद जी आए। उन्होंने एक बड़ी कमाल की बात कही जो मैं आपके साथ साझा करना चाहता हूं। उन्होंने कहा कि स्वामी जी इसलिए हैं क्योंकि उन्होंने मां काली की उपासना, परम आदरणीय रामकृष्ण परमहंस जी की उपासना और भारत माता की उपासना बिल्कुल हृदय के अंतर्मन से की। वो बता रहे थे कि जब स्वामी जी साधना में लीन होते थे तो वो सब कुछ भूल जाते थे। वो इतने एकाग्रचित हो जाते थे कि उनके लिए भारत माता, उनके लिए काली मां, उनके लिए उनके गुरुजी सब कुछ हो जाते थे। तो उन्होंने ये कहा कि आज सीखने की आवश्यकता ये है कि विद्यार्थी केवल बातों से नहीं, हृदय के अंतर्मन से एकाग्रचित हो। आपका जो भी लक्ष्य है, आप जो भी करना चाहते हैं, आप जो भी बनना चाहते हैं, स्वामी विवेकानंद जी से जो चीज एक बहुत बड़े पैमाने पर सीखी जा सकती है वो ये है कि हमें अपने लक्ष्य के प्रति पूरी तरह से एकाग्रचित, आत्मसात हो जाना है और उस लय में इतना डूब जाना है कि हमें बस वही दिखाई दे। ये आज एक बहुत विशिष्ट बात उस सेशन से मुझे पता लगी। मित्रों, सुभारती विश्वविद्यालय और संस्कृति विभाग, इसकी जब हम बात करते हैं, चूंकि मैं संस्कृति विभाग का विभाग अध्यक्ष भी हूं और हम हर महीने सुभारती दिवस का आयोजन करते हैं, किसी न किसी महापुरुष की जयंती अथवा पुण्यतिथि को हम सुभारती संस्कृति विभाग के द्वारा आयोजित करते हैं। अभी उसमें सभी जितने भी हमारे संस्थान हैं उन सबका सहयोग हम लेते हैं। संस्कृति विभाग की स्थापना जब हुई तो ये सोचा गया था कि एक ऐसा भवन बने जिसमें समस्त महापुरुषों की एक सुंदर चित्रमाला तो हो ही हो, आयोजन भी लगातार हो। उसी को आज फलीभूत करते हुए हम महीने में एक महापुरुष की जयंती अथवा पुण्यतिथि शुभारती दिवस के रूप में आयोजित करते हैं। शुभारती संस्कृति विभाग का जब शुरुआती चरण हम याद करते हैं तो श्री कुलदीप नारायण जी ने इसकी नींव रखी। आदरणीय कुलदीप नारायण जी हमारे विभाग के सहायक विभागाध्यक्ष हैं और जितनी सुंदर चित्रमाला का संयोजन उन्होंने किया है वो वास्तव में काबिले तारीफ है। मैं आपको भी निमंत्रण देता हूं, जब भी समय मिले आप शुभारती संस्कृति विभाग आए और देखें कि महापुरुषों को शुभारती किस हद तक जीती है, किस हद तक उन्हें अपने जीवन में उतारती है। आपका हृदय प्रसन्नचित्त होगा। आज हमारी एक सुंदर फोटो गैलरी का शुभारंभ भी परमादरणीय स्वामी अनुरक्तानंद जी ने किया और यकीन मानिए कि आज की विशिष्ट प्रार्थना जब स्वामी जी ने की तो मुझे ऐसा लगा कि मानो, क्योंकि स्वामी अनुरक्तानंद जी रामकृष्ण मिशन के स्वामी हैं जो बेलूर मठ से संबंध रखते हैं। स्वामी जी की अपनी संस्था है रामकृष्ण मिशन। उसी संस्था के परमादरणीय स्वामी जी आज अपने हाथों से आए और स्वामी विवेकानंद जी की जयंती पर उन्होंने दीप प्रज्वलित किया। तो मुझे ऐसा लगा कि मानो स्वामी जी की आत्मा खुद चलकर संस्कृति विभाग आ गई। और ये कहा भी जाता है कि रिश्ते मजबूत होते हैं वफाओं के निभाने से, गुल भी खिलखिलाते हैं बहारों के आ जाने से। और ये केवल हम नहीं कहते, हर एक गुल ये कहता है, महफिल झूम उठती है कुछ लोगों के आ जाने से। आज जब उनका चरण वहां पड़े संस्कृति विभाग तो मैं भाव विभोर हो गया। मुझे ऐसा लगा कि सामने से स्वामी विवेकानंद चले आ रहे। स्वामी जी ने अपने हाथ से जिस संस्था की रचना की, बेलूर मठ बंगाल, आज उसके द्वारा दीप प्रज्वलित हुआ और ये एक ओरा जो होता है, एक भाव जो होता है, वो वहां कण कण में व्याप्त हो गया। आज के दिन मुझे आपसे ये भी बताना है कि संस्कृति विभाग द्वारा रचित जो तीसरा संस्करण है हमारी शुभारती पुस्तिका का, जिसमें डॉक्टर शल्यराज जी, डॉक्टर अतुल जी ने बहुत अच्छे जीवन परिचय सबके संकलित किए हैं, वो भी हमारे विभाग द्वारा प्रकाशित की जाती है। उसके 3 संस्करण प्रकाशित हो चुके हैं। विभाग में आप देखेंगे 3 सिद्धपीठे इस समय हैं। एक स्वामी विवेकानंद, 2 दूसरी परम पूज्य परमादरणीय नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस, जिसकी स्थापना नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस जी के परपौत्र द्वारा की गई। उसके अलावा अभी अभी वहां मां काली की जो प्राण प्रतिष्ठा हुई है, क्योंकि स्वामी विवेकानंद, रामकृष्ण परमहंस, नेताजी सुभाष सभी मां काली के भक्त रहे हैं। तो आज इस पावन अवसर पर मेरा आप सभी से केवल ये कहना है कि हमारे विचार ही शब्द बनते हैं, शब्द कर्म बनते हैं, कर्म भाषा में बदलकर हमारे चरित्र का निर्माण करते हैं। भारत की भूमि को देश दुनिया में पल्लवित पुष्पित करने वाले परम आदरणीय स्वामी विवेकानंद जी जिस विचारधारा को जीते थे और जो वो चाहते थे, हमें उसे आगे बढ़ाने की आवश्यकता है। तभी ये राष्ट्रीय युवा दिवस सार्थक हो सकता है। और सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत जिस चीज की है, आप अगर हमारे स्वामी विवेकानंद शुभारती विश्वविद्यालय का आधार वाक्य भी देखें, शिक्षा, सेवा, संस्कार एवं राष्ट्रीयता, तो हम संस्कारों की भी बात करते हैं, राष्ट्रीयता की भी बात करते हैं, शिक्षा की भी बात करते हैं, सेवा की भी बात करते हैं। मतलब हमारा स्पष्ट मानना है कि शिक्षा यदि संस्कारों से पल्लवित पुष्पित ना होगी तो विद्यार्थी समाज के लिए सार्थक ना होगा। इस विचारधारा को, इस आधार वाक्य को, इस जो हमारा सिद्धांत है, इसे शुभारती विश्वविद्यालय जीता है। और इसलिए मैंने आपको बताया कि हमारे आप खेल के मैदानों से लेकर ज्ञानी प्रीतम सिंह, जनरल मोहन सिंह, यामानुची, हमारे सारे परिसरों के नामों से लेकर आप देखेंगे खारवेल के नाम पर, गुरु गोविंद सिंह डेंटल कॉलेज, छत्रपति शिवाजी अस्पताल, आप प्रत्येक जगह देखेंगे कि महापुरुषों से ये जो हमारी भूमि है वो रमी बसी है। इसलिए मैं आपसे आज के दिन ये विशेष अनुरोध करूंगा कि आप भी चरित्र पर ध्यान दें, चरित्र निर्माण पर ध्यान दें। युवा इस बात को महसूस करें कि हम आज अगर स्वामी जी के विचारों को जी सकते हैं तो हम कल का मजबूत भारत बना सकते हैं। आज के इस प्रसंग में अभी आगे आप देखेंगे संस्कृति विभाग की झलक भी आपको दिखेगी। और अभी और भी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जिनसे आपको हम रूबरू कराएंगे। मैं पुनः अपने नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस मेडिकल कॉलेज का और हमारी जो रिसर्च पीठ है महर्षि अरविंदो योग एवं संस्थान में, उसका संस्कृति विभाग को अपने साथ तारतम्य में जोड़ने के लिए और इतने सुंदर आयोजन के लिए पुनः सबका बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। और अंत में सबसे यही कहना चाहता हूं कि बिना अपने पुरखों के, महापुरुषों के, हम अपने जीवन को सार्थक नहीं कर सकते। उनकी विचारधाराओं को जिए, आगे बढ़ाएं और जो हमारा सुभारती का आधार वाक्य है, शिक्षा, सेवा, संस्कार एवं राष्ट्रीयता, उसको लेकर के आगे चलें। जय हिंद, जय भारत, जय सुभारती।
Well, thank you so very much, Vivek ji, for so beautifully putting in the ideals and the ideas behind Sanskriti Vibhag, and then speaking and sharing your valuable lessons that you have gathered and culled from today's guest lecture by Swami Vivekanand ji. You create magic when you speak, and once again today we experience that magic being woven into words that you used. And now next we have a role play, which will be presented by the students of Subharati Medical College. Very lovingly and very affectionately, these students have prepared and rehearsed for the role play. And this role play is based on the glimpses from Swami Vivekananda's life. And they are trying to put it in front of you for you to relish, for you to recollect, and for you also to associate yourself with the kind of life that Swamiji lived and the kind of challenges that he faced and ultimately what he stood for. So there is so much to be seen and there is so much to be learned from this role play. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. So please tune in. Role play will be live now from Sanskriti Vibhag.
अब आपके सामने सुभारती मेडिकल कॉलेज की MBBS 18 बैच के छात्र छात्राओं द्वारा स्वामी जी के जीवन की संक्षिप्त झांकियां प्रस्तुत की जाएंगी। पहली झांकी मई 1881 की बात है। युवक नरेंद्र नाथ का जहां एक और आध्यात्मिकता के प्रति जन्मजात झुकाव था, तो दूसरी ओर प्रखर मेधायुक्त उनकी विचारशील तार्किक बुद्धि थी। उन्होंने प्रसिद्ध धार्मिक नेताओं से भी भेंट की, किंतु उनसे भी उन्हें ईश्वर के अस्तित्व संबंधी प्रश्न का समाधान नहीं मिल सका। ऐसे समय में उन्हें अपने अध्यापक विलियम हेस्टी के शब्द याद आए, जिसे उन्होंने वर्ड्सवर्थ की कविता द एक्सकर्शन में पढ़ा था। उस समय समाधि के संदर्भ में कलकत्ते के समीप दक्षिणेश्वर में रहने वाले एक संत का उल्लेख करते हुए कहा था कि उस संत को समाधि का अनुभव है, जिसका वर्णन वर्ड्सवर्थ ने अपनी कविता में किया है। अतः सन 1881 के लगभग वे इस महान संत के पास पहुंचे और इस प्रकार दो महान आत्माओं का ऐतिहासिक मिलन हुआ। नरेंद्र नाथ ने पूछा,
आशय, क्या आपने ईश्वर को देखा है?
हाँ, देखा है। जिस प्रकार मैं तुम्हें देख रहा हूँ, ठीक उसी प्रकार, बल्कि उससे और स्पष्टता से देखा है।
क्या आपने ईश्वर को छुआ है?
हाँ, छुआ है।
क्या आपने ईश्वर से बातें की हैं?
हाँ, बातें की हैं।
क्या आप ही मुझे ईश्वर से मिला सकते हो?
सब भौतिक सुख, ऐश्वर्य, मान, मर्यादा यही चाहते हैं। ईश्वर से कोई मिलना नहीं चाहता।
मैं चाहता हूँ मिलना।
ठीक है, मैं तुम्हें ईश्वर से मिलाऊंगा।
नरेंद्र को लगा कि एक व्यक्ति तो ऐसा है जो स्वयं की अनुभूति से ईश्वर के अस्तित्व का विश्वास उन्हें दिला सकता है। उनका संशय दूर हुआ और यहीं से शिष्य का परीक्षण प्रारंभ हुआ। अगला दृश्य वाराणसी 1888 का।
वाराणसी में दुर्गा मंदिर से लौटते समय एक दिन बंदरों के एक झुंड ने स्वामी जी का पीछा किया। उनसे बचने के लिए स्वामी जी भागते रहे। अचानक ही उन्हें एक वृद्ध सन्यासी की पुकार सुनाई दी, ठहरो, भागो मत, पशुओं का सामना करो। वे रुके और बंदरों की ओर लौट पड़े। उनका भय जाता रहा। उनका रुख देखकर बंदर भाग गए। स्वामी जी ने इसका मर्म बताते हुए कहा था, अंततः प्रकृति का, अज्ञान का, भ्रम का सामना करो, भागो मत।
अगला दृश्य शिकागो। The Parliament of Religions opened on 11 September 1893. The spacious hall of the Art Institute was packed with nearly 7,000 people representing the best culture of the country. On the platform, every organized religion from all corners of the world had its representatives. Swamiji had never addressed such a huge and distinct gathering. He felt extremely nervous. In his words,
सभी देशों के लोग वहां थे। एक भव्य जुलूस में हमें मंच पर ले जाया गया। मंच के नीचे एक विशाल सभा भवन था। ऊपर एक विशाल दीर्घा की कल्पना करो। देश की श्रेष्ठ संस्कृति का प्रतिनिधित्व करने वाले 6 या 7 हजार नर नारियों से भरपूर सभा भवन और मंच पर पृथ्वी के सभी देशों के विद्वान, वे सभी लोग पूर्व तैयारी करके आए थे तथा उनके पास पहले से तैयार भाषण थे। मैं ही एक मूर्ख था जिसके पास कुछ नहीं था, किंतु मैंने मां सरस्वती को प्रणाम किया और खड़ा हुआ तथा डॉक्टर बैरोज ने मेरा परिचय कराया।
Distinguished delegates to the World's Parliament of Religions, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the afternoon session of the opening day. Today, the 11th September 1893. We now introduce you to Swami Vivekananda from India and ask him to address us.
Sisters and brothers of America, it fills my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response to the warm and cordial welcome which you have given us. I thank you in the name of the most ancient order of monks in the world. I thank you in the name of the mother of religions. And I thank you in the name of the millions and billions of Hindu people of all classes and sects. My thanks also to some of the speakers from far-off nations. I am proud to belong to the nation which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. We believe not only in universal toleration, but we accept all religions as true. I am proud to belong to a nation which has given a shelter to refugees of all religions and all nations to the world. I am proud to tell you that we have gathered in our bosom the purest remnant of the Israelites who came to the southern India and took refuge with us in the very year in which their holy temple was shattered to pieces by Roman tyranny. I am proud to belong to the religion which has sheltered and is still foisting the remnant of the grand Zoroastrian nation. I will quote to you a few lines from a hymn which I remember to have repeated from my earliest boyhood, which is very everyday repeated by millions of human beings. As the different streams having their sources in different places all mingle their way to the sea, so, O Lord, the different paths which men take through, different tendencies, various, though they appear crooked or straight, all lead to the sea. Doctrine preached in the Gita: whosoever comes to me, through whatsoever form, I reach him. All men are struggling through paths which in the end lead to me. Thank you.
People rose to their feet as a tribute to something they knew not what. The appeal of his simple words of burning sincerity, his great personality and his bright countenance was so great that next day the newspaper described him as the greatest figure in the Parliament of Religions. The simple monk with a begging bowl had become the man of the hour. धर्म महासभा के विज्ञान विभाग के अध्यक्ष मेरविन मैरी स्नेल के शब्दों में
स्वामी विवेकानंद न केवल हिंदू धर्म के सबसे महत्वपूर्ण तथा विशिष्ट प्रतिनिधि थे, अपितु वे धर्म महासभा के सर्वाधिक जनप्रिय एवं प्रभावी व्यक्ति भी थे तथा सभी अवसरों पर किसी भी अन्य वक्ता, ईसाई और या गैर ईसाई की तुलना में उनका स्वागत अधिक उत्साह के साथ किया जाता था। वे जहां भी जाते, लोग उनके चारों तरफ इकट्ठा हो जाते थे तथा उनके प्रत्येक शब्द को सुनने के लिए व्यग्र रहते। अत्यंत रूढ़िवादी ईसाई भी उनके विषय में कहते कि पुरुषों में वे नरेश हैं।
महाबोधि सोसाइटी के महासचिव श्री धर्मपाल कहते हैं,
मुझे यह कहने में कोई हिचकिचाहट नहीं है कि धर्म संसद में उस महान और भले हिंदू साधु विवेकानंद को छोड़ के कोई ऐसा नहीं था जो सबको आकर्षित कर सका। हमारे व्रतभाता स्वामी विवेकानंद ने न केवल हिंदू दर्शन के शुद्ध सिद्धांतों को फैलाने में महान और अमूल्य सेवा की है, बल्कि वे अमेरिका के सुविज्ञ और संभावित वर्ग को यह समझाने में भी सफल हुए हैं कि भारत ही समस्त सत्य दर्शन और तत्वज्ञान की जननी है और उनकी वेदी भी है। मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि जब भी प्रचारित किया जाता था कि आज स्वामी विवेकानंद बोलेंगे, तो जगह पाने के लिए लोगों की भीड़ उमड़ पड़ती थी। शिकागो नगर में सर्वत्र स्वामी विवेकानंद के चित्र सहित ऐसी तख्तियां लगा दी जाती थी कि वे अमुक अमुक विषयों पर प्रवचन करेंगे। वे जहां भी जाते थे लोगों से घिर जाते थे और उन्हें समस्त बातों में बड़ी रुचि हुआ करती थी। मैं कहता हूं कि उन्होंने इस देश की महान सेवा की है और जिस पर बंगाल को गर्व होना चाहिए। शिकागो की धर्मसभा में जितने भी प्रतिनिधि थे, उन सब में उन्होंने अपना सर्वश्रेष्ठ स्थान बनाया था।
अगला दृश्य इंग्लैंड। सन 1896 में स्वामी जी इंग्लैंड में थे जब किसी चर्च की युवती शिक्षिकाओं ने एक कार्यक्रम का आयोजन किया और उनके निवेदन पर स्वामी जी उनमें से एक युवती के घर ठहरे, जहां पर सारी युवतियां उनके सामने बैठ गईं, जिनमें भगिनी निवेदिता भी शामिल थी। उनमें से एक युवती ने स्वामी जी से पूछा,
स्वामी जी, क्या भविष्य के बारे में बताया जा सकता है?
हाँ, बताया जा सकता है।
कैसे?
हमारे राजयोग में एक विधि है, उसके माध्यम से भविष्य के बारे में पता लगाया जा सकता है।
स्वामी जी, क्या आप हमें इंग्लैंड के भविष्य के बारे में बताएंगे?
वह आधे घंटे बड़े गहरे ध्यान में चले गए। जब उन्होंने अपनी आंखें खोली तो वे सब युवतियां डर गईं, क्योंकि स्वामी जी की आंखें ऐसे लग रही थी मानो रक्त में डूबी हुई हों।
स्वामी जी, आपने क्या देखा?
500 साल बाद तुम्हारे इंग्लैंड में एटम बम गिरेगा।
एटम बम?
अभी नहीं, 500 साल बाद।
कौन डालेगा?
ऐसा जिसकी तुमने कल्पना भी नहीं की होगी। आज वो देश गुलाम है, जापान का।
कौन सा देश स्वामी जी?
चीन। चीन तुम्हारी ईंट से ईंट बजा देगा। जो तुमने पूरी दुनिया पे अत्याचार किए हैं, शारीरिक, मानसिक और आर्थिक रूप से, उसका दंड कौन भोगेगा? तुम्हारे आने वाली पीढ़ी ही भोगेगी।
लेकिन स्वामी जी, चीन तो गुलाम है, जापान का अधीन है, वो कैसे करेगा?
ये ड्रैगन को मत जगाओ। ये ड्रैगन अगर जग गया तो पूरी दुनिया को बर्बाद कर देगा।
मिस मार्गरेट एलिजाबेथ नोबेल, जो बाद में भगिनी निवेदिता कहलाई, उन्होंने पूछा,
स्वामी जी, आपका भारत को लेकर क्या विचार है?
भारत स्वतंत्र होगा, लेकिन जैसे बाकी देश स्वतंत्र होते हैं वैसी परिस्थितियों में बिल्कुल नहीं होगा।
फिर कैसे?
उसके लिए अलग से विलक्षण परिस्थितियां पैदा होंगी। मैं चाहता हूं कि अगले 50 वर्षों तक हमारे जितने भी देवी देवता हैं सबको एक तरफ करके एक ही देव को ध्यान में रखो। वो है राष्ट्रदेव, अर्थात भारत माता।
Now, I would like to invite Shri Kuldeep Narayan ji, one of the founder members of Sanskriti Vibhag, that is Department of Culture of Swami Vivekanand Subharti University, to enlighten us with his words and tell us what happened after the Chicago address. Please come, sir.
1893 की इस क्रांतिकारी घटना के बाद भारत में जब वो समाचार आने लगे तो भारत में एक सिरन सी पैदा हो गई। उनके भाषणों का भारत के लोगों पर बड़ा प्रभाव पड़ने लगा। और उसके बाद जब वो भारत आए, पहली बार जब उन्होंने कोलंबो के समुद्र के तट पर अपना पहला पांव रखा तो वो जमीन में लोटपोट हो गए। और लोगों ने उससे पूछा कि आप जमीन में ऐसे लोटपोट क्यों हो गए? उन्होंने उसका उत्तर दिया, पहले मैं भारत को प्रेम करता था, लेकिन आज मैं उसकी पूजा करता हूँ। उसके बाद वो मद्रास पहुंचे और मद्रास में युवकों ने एक गाड़ी ली और गाड़ी के बैलों को खोल दिया और स्वामी जी और घोड़ों के स्थान पर वो खुद जूते। और उन्होंने स्वामी जी का इतने दृढ़ता से स्वागत किया। स्वामी जी ने एक अपने छोटे से भाषण में एक बार कहा था, मेरी समस्त आशाएं मध्यम वर्ग के युवकों के प्रति हैं। उच्च पद पर आसीन और धनिक वर्ग इन पर विश्वास मत करना, क्योंकि इनमें जीवनी शक्ति नहीं होती, इसलिए कार्य करो। स्वामी जी ने कहा, स्ट्रेंथ इज लाइफ एंड वीकनेस इज डेथ। वो कहा करते थे कि यू आर द क्रिएटर ऑफ योर ओन डेस्टिनी। स्वामी जी ने समस्त भारत का भ्रमण किया। मद्रास के अलावा वो मराठवाड़ा यानी कि महाराष्ट्र, राजस्थान, गुजरात, संपूर्ण भारत का उन्होंने दौरा किया और उन्होंने भारत को जगाया और उन्होंने शक्ति का आह्वान किया। उन्होंने कहा कि मैं चाहता हूं कि सब लोग उपनिषद पढ़ें और उपनिषद में एक ही वाणी गूंजती है, वो है शक्ति, स्टैंड। उन्होंने कहा कि कार्य करो और उन्होंने इस बात पर जोर दिया कि सब भारतीय अशिक्षित ना रहें, सब शिक्षित रहें। उसके बाद उन्होंने भारत का संपूर्ण भ्रमण के बाद मद्रास में, फिर वो मद्रास के बाद फिर वो वापसी बंगाल आए। बंगाल के अंदर उनके स्वागतों की बाढ़ आ गई। स्वामी विवेकानंद ने एक बार कहा था कि मैं जब कभी इस शरीर को पुराने वस्त्र की भांति त्याग दूंगा, उस समय भी मैं निरंतर काम करता रहूंगा। मैं उस समय तक काम करता रहूंगा जब तक कि प्रत्येक भारतवासी ये ना समझ ले कि वो और ईश्वर अभेद है। उनके 4 जुलाई 1902 को शरीर छोड़ने के बाद भी वो अनवरत कार्य करते रहे। बाद में भारत के अंदर क्रांतिकारियों की बाढ़ आ गई। युवा शक्ति के अंदर मानो एक चेतना आ गई। एक छोटी सी घटना के साथ आप उसकी परिकल्पना समझ सकते हैं कि एक क्रांतिकारी के घर पर पुलिस ने छापा मारा। वहां पर उन्होंने कहा कि देखो यहाँ पर क्या है। अचानक उन्हें फोटो दिखाई दिया, स्वामी जी का हाथ बांधे हुए शिकागो पोस्टर का एक चित्र। और उन्होंने कहा देखो यही है इनका नेता। उन्होंने कहा कहाँ है ये व्यक्ति, इसको पकड़ो। उन्होंने कहा उनको तो गए हुए 50 साल हो गए, लेकिन उनकी वाणी हमें आज भी उद्वेलित कर रही है। एक बार श्री अरविंद ने कहा था कि अलीपुर जेल के अंदर मुझे 15 दिन तक स्वामी विवेकानंद के शब्द सुनाई देते रहे। उसी कड़ी में आज हम बैठे हुए हैं स्वामी विवेकानंद सुभारती विश्वविद्यालय में, जिसके संस्थापक डॉक्टर अतुल कृष्ण उन्होंने अपना विवेकानंद को आदर्श माना और अपने मोनोग्राम में लिखा उत्तिष्ठित जागृत प्राप्त परानि बोधक। अर्थात जब तक तुम्हें लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति ना हो उस समय तक तुम लगातार अपने कार्य को करते रहो, अर्थात रुको मत।
On behalf of Subharti Medical College, I would like to invite our coordinator, without whom this event would not have been possible. I invite Dr. Rahul Bansil sir, Professor and Head, Department of Community Medicine, to enlighten us with his knowledge.
आप सभी को मेरा सादर प्रणाम। ये हमारा परम सौभाग्य है कि आज के शुभ दिन हम भावी डॉक्टरों के साथ इस दिवस को मना रहे हैं। जब मैंने इन छात्र छात्राओं से बात करी कि हम ऐसे ऐसे स्वामी विवेकानंद जी का प्राकट्य दिवस मना रहे हैं, क्या आप इसमें भाग लेंगे, तो इन छात्र छात्राओं ने बहुत जोश व खरोश के साथ इन्होंने ये सारी तैयारी करी, आप देख ही रहे हैं। और ये बहुत सुखद इसलिए भी है कि अब विश्व स्वास्थ्य संगठन भी मानता है कि अध्यात्म की जो हेल्थ की डेफिनेशन है वो अध्यात्म के बिना अधूरी है। अध्यात्म किसी भी स्वास्थ्य की डेफिनेशन का एक अभिन्न अंग बन चुका है। तो ये विवेकानंद जी के प्रेरणा से जो छात्र छात्राएं कर रहे हैं, ये कहीं ना कहीं ऐसे भावी डॉक्टर तैयार हो रहे हैं जो फिजिकल, मेंटल, सोशल और स्पिरिचुअल डायमेंशन चारों को लेके चलेंगे। ये जो इनका उत्साह है, जो इनकी तैयारी है, और आपने देखा ये वही कार्य हो रहा है जो स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने किसी रूप में शुरू किया था। ऐसे ही डॉक्टर्स की ज़रूरत है भारत को, जो इन महापुरुषों से प्रेरणा लेकर इनके विचारों को अपनी मेडिकल साइंस का हिस्सा बनाएं, अपनी काउंसलिंग का हिस्सा बनाएं, अपने चरित्र को विकसित करें। और यही कार्य सुभारती मेडिकल कॉलेज में हो रहा है। मुझे गर्व है कि मैं ऐसे मेडिकल कॉलेज में कई वर्षों से कार्यरत हूं और इस तरह के छात्र छात्राओं को पढ़ाने में योगदान दे रहा हूं। और सबसे ज़्यादा मेरा आभार है डॉक्टर अतुल कृष्ण व अन्य पदाधिकारियों के लिए, वीसी साहब के लिए, कि जिन्होंने हमें ये अवसर दिया, और आगे भी हम इसी तरह का कार्य करते रहेंगे। जय हिंद।
I really appreciate the efforts that have been put in by Dr. Rahul Bansil and the students who have put in this role play so beautifully. And we could see as to how the glimpses of Swami Vivekanand ji's life can inspire us, starting from the days when he was struggling, and then to a point where he could go and speak and influence the audiences like anything, and everybody got swayed. And from there, and he was recognized and appreciated and applauded as a representative of India. And then on, the journey continued, and he glorified the Indian culture and tradition, and he propounded Vedanta. And this, doctrine of Vasudev Kutumbakam was something that he lived for. Thank you so very much, sir. And I really appreciate the efforts that have been put in by the students. Beautifully, beautifully presented. And now it's time for the vote of thanks. And for that, we have with us Dr. Abhay Shankar Gaura, who is Principal Maharishi Aurobindo Subharati College and Hospital of Naturopathy, and also now the officiating Pro Vice Chancellor of Swami Vivekanand Subharati University. Dr. Abhay M. Shankar Gaura is professor and principal. He has completed his graduation and post-graduation from STM College of Naturopathy and Yogic Sciences from Karnataka, affiliated to Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Karnataka. He has excelled in the field of naturopathy and yoga in setting up new ventures like departments, OPTs, hospitals, organized many conferences, mass yoga camps. His clinical skills have been sharpened by the vast experience over years and his achievement as gold medalist in his MD yoga, which was the first batch of its kind in the whole country. And that's a great feat. His teaching experiences in both UG and PG curriculum in the field for a long tenure of years have made him adapt to his present job. He has more than 19 years of work experience in the field in various capacities. He has explored his skills in undergraduate teaching, postgraduate teaching, clinical, academic research, administrative, social responsibilities, and handled special responsibilities, and has contributed vastly to the field. He has experience as an external examiner, deputy chief superintendent, PG guide, delivered numerous health talks at public gatherings, schools, colleges on topics like disease prevention, healthy lifestyle, hygiene, yoga in daily life, etc. He has organized numerous awareness camps and naturopathy and yoga treatment camps. He has attended numerous conferences, seminars, and workshops as delegate, invited speaker, paper presenter, and as a computer savvy with knowledge of 8 languages: English, Hindi, Kannada, Tulu, Tamil, Malayalam, Konkani, and Marathi. He was also the member academic subcommittee of Yoga and Naturopathy, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. In addition to the duties of principal, he is also the Dean, Faculty of Ayush, Swami Vivekanand Bharati University, Meerut. Sir, what a glorified, roster of achievements you have secured. And we are so very proud to have you, sir, with us to present the vote of thanks. May I request you please to deliver.
Thank you very much. That was an exhaustive introduction, Dr. Simi. Swami Vivekanand Bharati University, the motto of our university is Siksha, Seva, Sanskar, and Rashtriyata. And today in this program, we have shown the people, or we have seen that our students are imbibed in these 4 mottos by the way they presented the role play. A great lecture by Swamiji Mitranandji, and also a wonderful program held today on the occasion of National Youth Day. Swami Vivekanand Chair, in association with the Subharti Medical College and Sanskriti Vibhag, who have organized this event, I should applaud them. Thank you very much for conducting this program, first of all, and also the Honorable Vice Chancellor, who was here with us for the welcome address, and he's also online round. And I thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor for being there for such constructive programs and always supportive to us. And also the CEO, Dr. Shailya Raj of Swami Vivekanand Bharati University. I thank ma'am for all the support and the management. The lecture of Swamiji, most venerable Swami Mitranand, mentor of Chinmaya Mission Chennai, gave an insight in understanding how in this modern day, in this advanced age of technology, we can imbibe the values of Swami Vivekanand and our Vedas also. It was a wonderful lecture. Thank you very much, Swamiji, for being with us. And also, especially the interest shown by the students in the interactive session was wonderful. It was a great lesson for everybody. Dr. Rahul Bansil, the HOD of our community medicine, as always, has given an insight into the health aspects of how Swamiji has told about the spiritual aspect of health. And as always, his lectures are wonderful, and today also it was a wonderful lecture. Thank you, sir, for being with us. Vivek Sanskriti ji, as a dynamic individual, the head of the Sanskriti Vibhag of our university, delivered a wonderful explanation of what we are doing here in the university to imbibe these sanskars. The role play played by the students was so wonderful. It just in a few minutes it gave an insight into the Swamiji's life. It's wonderful way of telling people or showing people that what was Swamiji's life, what you call teachings, and also the whole team of Subharti Medical College who were involved in this, Sanskriti Vibhag, which was involved in this, I thank very much. And also Dr. Simi Gurwara, Professor Dr. Simi Gurwara, the Additional Dean of FASS and also the convener of Swami Vivekanand Chair. A wonderful program organized by you, ma'am. Congratulations to you, and thank you very much for organizing this program. And on behalf of Swami Vivekananda Subharati University, I thank all the audience. In a huge number you have joined. I was seeing online on YouTube also, on Facebook also, a huge number you all joined and encouraged us to organize such programs in the future also. Thank you very much. And also, especially our broadcast team, the marketing team, which has been working relentlessly to make these things online and reach more number of people. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you, everybody. If I have left out someone by unknowingly, I thank you, and please consider my apologies. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. And I'm very touched and moved by the fact that you have appreciated the efforts that have been put up, to organize this online event. But I must say that without your blessings and without your moral support, it could not have been possible, sir. So thank you, sir, so much for your presence and your benignity to accept the fact that unless and until you are there, because the Swami Vivekanand Chair is there in the naturopathy department, sir, and it is under your wings. And without your support, the things could not have moved.
Thank you. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. I must appreciate the fact that the role play that was prepared by the students and so beautifully presented before us was presented in the Sanskriti Vibhag. And I'm sure the viewers must have seen the glimpses of Sanskriti Vibhag as to how beautifully the portraits of so many, Maharishis and saints are there, and you can feel the vibes that it generates. Such is the aura and such is the ambience that Sanskriti Vibhag at Swami Vivekanand Subharati University carries. And now it's time to call it a day, and imbued with the vision, with the verve and the values that were propounded by Swami Vivekanand the world over. Now it's time to take the lessons, to cull the lessons, to keep them with us, to keep growing and to keep developing, because the National Youth Day is not about just a day, it is about a journey that begins. Now this energy that started flowing today must continue and keep on flowing throughout the year till we meet next. Thank you so much, audiences. I thank you once again, and a very happy National Youth Day to you all. Thank you.
Subharati is the best university I know.
Subharati is the best.
Subharati is the best.
Subharati is the best.
The Swati is the best.
Subharti is the best.
Subharti is the best. Subharti is the best.
Subharti is best. Love you, Subharti.